What's up, guys? It's me again. It's going to be another day with this kind of trial. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit, I'm just going to warn you, it's going to be a little bit different today because I actually had a dentist appointment and I was sitting in the chair for like almost 3 hours. Yes, I was sitting in the dental chair listening to the Depp bird trial while having dental work done. And I was sitting in there for 3 freaking hours. It was a lot. But it was funny because I talked to the dentist about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching some of that myself." I talked to his assistant, the dental assistant. She's like, "Oh yeah, I started watching it last night." Like so, it was just funny. And then I talked to another woman that actually come in and did my fillings, and she said, "Oh yeah, she knew about it too." So it was just kind of funny. But okay, so what I'm gonna so again, I say that because I'm a little scattered today, as you can imagine. I got home and tried to catch up on some of the trial. Honestly, that drill was pretty loud. That they were constantly trying to talk to me, so I missed the majority of this trial today. First time since it's happened that I've missed as much as I have. But I came home. It's 8:41 here my time. I live in the Central Time Zone. Yeehaw! I'm in the South. And I literally got home probably about time to get home. I think I got home at like 3. My appointment at 3 in the afternoon. My appointment was at 10 o'clock this morning, but I did stop on the way home and picked up my little dog some ground turkey. I have a little Shih Tzu, so I make his food for him. He's getting old. I've always made his food. Though I spoil him. I have no kids. You know how it is. You out there, you know how it is. So, and I got my dad some stuff. My mom died a few years ago to cancer. My dad, blah blah blah, lives alone. That's another whole story. So I like pick him up stuff because he's lost so much weight. Like that's enough. My dad's 78 years old, and I'm telling you, he runs circles around 40-year-olds. Okay, that man is always on the go. So I buy him like little oatmeal cream pies and stuff because I mean, I don't want him to get too damn skinny. I mean, trust me, he's not anywhere in fear of getting overweight because he's always running the roads. Um. Anyway, sorry, I don't usually try to talk too much about personal life. It just is what it happened today. I say all that because I'm sorry if I jump around a little bit. I don't seem as prepared. I have again, like I said, some notes over here from some of the stuff I watched, but I wanted to start this out with this because before I left this morning, because I had to make a little bit of a drive to get there. Um, I live in a very small town, and anyway, we have stuff here. Don't get me wrong, but I found this really great place because I have no dental insurance like most people. So let me do this too, since I have this platform. If you know anybody that lives like in the Middle Tennessee area, I mean, and listen, as much as dental work is, if you live anywhere in Tennessee, there's a place called Interfaith Dental, INTER Faith, like as in, it's a faith-based, Christian like organization. So it's all one word, Interfaith. They have one office in Nashville and one in Murfreesboro. I went to the one in Murfreesboro. And by the way, no, I don't live there. I'm not that dumb to dox myself. I've already been swatted twice, by the way. But they have these you can apply, and like it's a long wait list, but they do this thing with grants with elderly people. So like anybody like 60 and older, they have a lot more leeway to help those people. And like if you don't have any dental insurance, they like take these applications where you can go in and get like dental work done at the fraction of the price. Trust me, I'm probably at the end of all this, I think I might be paying like 10% of what I would have to pay if I went somewhere else. Um, well, I don't know because of what they're doing. I no, let me say I'm paying probably 30%. I'll say that because it's a little different. But interfaith anyway. If you know anybody, pass the message along. Okay, so sorry about all the blabbering. But if you, what I'm gonna start this out today with is if you don't know about this trial, Law and Crime has been broadcasting. Got to has been the one like to broadcast a stream out of that courtroom, and they're really good. They're really good to use because they usually get two camera angles, and they'll have it on the person testifying, and then either like heard or deaf in the courtroom, and stuff like that. And all of the little streamers. This court case, okay, that judge is paid by the American people. Those jury people are paid by the American people. That building is paid for by the American people. All the employees in that building are paid for by the American people. The only people that aren't paid by the American people are the people sitting in the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's and their lawyers. All right. Everything else is paid by us. This is anybody should be able to watch a court hearing and all this other shit. We should push back more on that, honestly, when they try to have closed stuff like the Epstein crap, like that, like the Ghislaine Maxwell. That's a bunch of horse shit. There should be, to me, there should be cameras in every freaking courthouse. We're paying for the shit. We should be able to see what the hell is going on. So anyway, so in the beginning of this, Law and Crime started like swatting, like all these like channels were getting DMCA strike. I mean, they were literally going off air. They were sorry about that. They were getting taken down while they were live on air. That freaking platform was striking them down. So, as you know, I did that video where I watched XQC and Asmongold react to the first time they're like seeing this trial. And so because I did that, and I ran into XQC a few times. It's again, I'm not a gamer, I'm older, you know what I mean? So, and I told you my go-to is Dr. Disrespect. I love him. He plays that character, he's funny. But as when I got up this morning and was like trying to get ready or whatever, I was wanting to listen in. It was before the trial started. So this popped up and I was like, oh, what's, I read Amber Heard's. It was from yesterday. I was like, let me see what old XQC has to say about it. So I clicked on here and I must have been about right here in the stream, somewhere close to it, because this happened. And I thought it very fucking curious that this kind of how this shit kind of went down. And I thought I would share it. I might even title my damn stream it, because I'm going to tell you something right now. If Law and fucking Crime goes after me or anybody else for sharing their videos or sharing any of their content, then I'm going to tell you it's targeted harassment, because XQC interviewed the woman, apparently, the woman that's streaming this in her basement. You'll hear, I literally, it might be a little bit longer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing this for all these creators out here. That goes on to his channel. Look what he's streaming. This is Law and Crime right now. He's been watching it this whole time, and he brings her on. Do you think she says anywhere in here like, we really don't like you guys restreaming our stuff? They can't do that shit. We're paying for the stuff anyway. So he brings her on and like does this little interview with her, while he's got their stream up. So again, you going after streamers, then what are you doing? Going after the little people you think can't defend themselves? Because XQC, who has a much larger platform, you tend to not have a problem with. And please understand, this has nothing to do with XQC. He doesn't probably know any of this shit's going on. Yeah, he's really not that kind of guy. He's pretty freaking humble to be bringing in 90,000 concurrent viewers on flipping Twitch. All right. That's what I mean by he's a big streamer. I just found it very telling that she goes on and gives an interview with this guy while he's live streaming their stuff. And I know that Law and Crime have taken down smaller channels, or I don't even know, maybe it's a little bit, mid-sized channels for streaming the trial using their feed. I'm going to say it again. Law and Crime, you better stop picking on smaller people and all that shit because you think you can get away with it. She even tells him in this that she has people like him to thank for them hitting 1 million subs. Now I'm going to shut up and I'm going to play some of this, because right here you see the clock and the Virginia symbol is when the point where she brings him on. I might back it up like for a second so you can hear the part where he brings her on and starts to interview her from Law and Crime. So again, it's my damn evidence. I've been watching the hearing. Like, this is my freaking evidence. This ain't hearsay. You about to hear her say it all.
Yeah, we chilling now. We good. I'm gonna mute now. Ooh, cameraman, dude, look at that zoom in though. That's mechanics. Okay.
No, listen.
Okay. Yeah, Addy, I have a few questions. If you guys don't know, because I have Addy with us, you guys. She helps and is in charge of the broadcast, believe it or not, from her basement. Addy is in the realm of law. With the Law and Crime Network, and they have a.
Now, did you hear that? Addie is running all the streams from her basement, and she, just in case you missed the Law and Crime part.
Realm of law from her basement. Helps and is in charge of the broadcast, believe it or not.
She's in charge of the broadcast, believe it or not, from her basement.
From her basement.
Make sure y'all hear that.
Addy is in the realm of law. With the Law and Crime Network, and they have a crew over there, right? that are like broadcasting, and she has the broadcast run. I think is that right?
Yes, we have. Oh, sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
We have an entire network that is based in New York. They have a huge studio where we have commentary with hosts and guests and everything. And on top of that, we also send crews into courtrooms and go into the trials with reporters and our cameras and equipment and everything, and then transmit the trials back to New York. And then I run the encoders from a remote computer from my basement. So I run all I created 4 channels for our network, and
So she's created all 4 of their channels, and she runs the encoder in her basement and sends a feed to New York. And this is what they're pumping out and showing to everybody. And she's currently on the air right now with XQC as he's live streaming the trial from Law and Crime. And she ain't gonna say a damn thing about any of with them taking these freaking content creators down for streaming it while he's streaming it.
I run all 4 from my basement.
Wait, well, that's actually that's kind of a lot of work, isn't it?
It is. It can be quite a lot, and this has been a huge, huge trial for us. We hit our 1 million subscribers, thanks to you guys, probably.
We hit our 1 million subscribers thanks to you guys, probably. Thanks to who? Thanks to, I mean, you might want to go ask the people you that you struck down for sharing your stream. I'm sure they're real happy they helped you build your subscribership. She's not saying, oh, well, because we struck your channel, didn't want you to watch it from us. They came over here. That's no, You see what's going on here? This is a massive content creator giggling and laughing about how this streamer helped their channel grow, but screw the small folks. Now, again, I'm not lambasting Addie here. Addie might not have any, but she's the one running the 4 damn channels, the encoder, but she's sending it to New York. So I'd say it's the people in New York or whoever's up there after she sends them the stream that's doing the takedowns of YouTube or whatever. But again, this is your evidence to show you that one of the higher ups at Law and Crime running the encoder, producing all 4 channels. She just said she created the 4 channels. Doesn't have a damn problem with this dude streaming their shit. So you're going to come after the little people. I'm going to share this with every one of all the smaller creators that I know.
Oh, well, congratulations. Are you going to get the plaque or they get the plaque? Who gets the plaque?
I get one too.
What? Oh, yeah, because all the editors, anybody involved with the channel get one.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's so sweet. Okay, that's really cool. Okay.
So now she's going to go with and tell you how she's basically the person, her and her friend started this. I'll just let you.
How did you come across all this? Are you like more IT or more law? Since you know how to run all this, are you more like tech, or you're more into like law and that realm?
Okay, this is an odd story. This is how it started for me. My friend and I created a YouTube channel back in 2015 and a website for trial watchers. Her name was Kathy Rustin. She's now the executive producer of Law and Crime. But
well, there's your executive producer, her best buddy that started with her in 2015, another YouTube channel. So she'd be in the position to take channels down for streaming the content. What do you think?
And I had a channel and a website called Court Chatter. Dan Abrams of Life PD found us and liked what he saw, took Kathy as Court Chatter acquired our website channel that you guys are now sitting on. It's the channel I created in 2015 for a tiny little Court Chatter thing that has become.
This is the channel she created that he's sitting on. She created it. So she's the one, that the name is behind. Again, when you create a YouTube channel, it's your YouTube channel. So where would the DMCA strikes come to? Maybe it is her. Maybe he is literally speaking to the one that was shutting everybody down. That's literally talking to a guy streaming it, and she's not saying a word about, dude, we don't really appreciate this. You need to shut this shit down. The American people are paying for everything. That clock, the American people paid for. That damn seal, the American people paid for. Okay, we paid for everything in that courtroom, including the people, except for the attorneys.
Become a part of Law and Crime now, the Law and Crime Network.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes, so I've been running it since 2015. So that's 7 years plus 5. The 2017 is when Dan Abram brought us in, and we became part of the network. We have a huge staff in New York, and it's continually growing. And we might be looking to maybe move over and looking at some other platforms. I'm just going to put that right there for a second.
So there you go. She's basically leaked that they're probably going to go to Twitch next. Law and Crime going to be on Twitch because now she said that, and he's a Twitch streamer. Just so you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys could. I mean, there's so much content.
I mean, and then in the Depp Heard trial, what she just said. I mean, I basically could say it's fact. I mean, she just stated it. You know what I mean?
With this, right? There's like
Yes.
probably like podcasts and other types of series that you guys could have. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so how do you know so much about the law overall? Is it because you watched so many law, or did you have an affinity for law before you created channels and whatnot?
I started watching trials when, well, for me, it was a long time ago. I'm an old lady.
That's
I'll
all right.
just put that out there. I have a friend
gonna
who
fast-
and started going to the.
I'm going to fast forward this a little bit because I want you to see when this trial comes back on. He shuts her up and was like, hey, you know what? I'll reach back out to you after we come off break, maybe ask you some more questions. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Just if you don't believe me, that he is literally, I'm looking, he's even covered their identifier down there with his freaking face. She ain't said a word about that. I ain't said a word. Maybe I'm gonna have to skip it like this. Grief. Is this lunch? What? He's asking. Okay, watch this. Oh yeah, I'll get back to you. We're gonna watch the trial now.
So subs.
Let's know who's going to be the 4
What?
alternates. Not usually until after a trial is done. Then actually they're starting to come back into
Yep.
the
No,
judges.
nobody. Okay.
Okay.
If there's only a flat moment, I'll hop back with you and ask you more questions. Is that okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you very much for doing this. By the way, I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for coming
Talk to you
on.
in a bit.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wasn't that pleasant and nice? And her thanking him and appreciating the help to build their channel to 1 million. Now, as he does the big goofy eyes, you know, like she said something crazy or something. Then he goes back to guess what he's streaming. Anybody want to take a stab at what network he's streaming? Have I not mentioned it enough?
This channel was that like I said, it's the person who is running this channel, and according the broadcast from the images that are sent from by the team that is there physically and broadcasting the images, and she organizes all that, and she has all the channels that broadcast this live.
She has all the channels that broadcast this live. You know, that's I just talked to her, and now he's going to watch it live and not have didn't have shit said to him about it. I mean, brought her on. You think she doesn't realize he's streaming it? She's brought him on to talk about her streaming it. Okay, sorry. I know I'm repeating myself here. I'm just pissed off because I know how many people were taken down and attacked for doing what he's doing. And, you know, and then he brings somebody on to act like, oh, no big deal. It just makes me mad. And again, this is nothing directed to XQC. I'm sure he has no clue what has happened to other creators that have done that were streaming their live stream. And this is for me to say again, personally, if you want to come after me, I am tempted and probably will use Law and Crime. I dare them to give me a damn strike. I dare them to give me something because I'm going to make sure this audio's in this video and this clip is in this video so you can see the target harassment of smaller creators or larger ones are being allowed to do it. We're not going to do this pick on the little guy thing. I thought you were all about equality and lift it and giving a helping hand and all this other. Well, yeah, we're about to test that fucking theory. So anyway, so I just wanted to get this in here so everybody can see, not making this shit up. And then we're gonna hang on. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Oh, let me add this too, by the way. Her friend Kathy that she was talking about that it helped start the Law and Crime network with her, that she says now she's created all the channel for. This is her. And this is her getting retweeted by Eve Barlow, and the one that got through, Amber Heard's best friend that got through out of court for live tweeting. And then she's also the one that shared the Instagram post of one of Depp's witnesses that was a year old, and she said it was current, so they got her through out of court. Got her asked if she'd watched any of this, and they got her through out of court. That's who Eve Barlow is. This is another one, so it's not like a fluke. She's retweeted her, I don't know, 3 or 4 times that I saw. And this was, look how many days ago this was. And I'm sure it has everything to do with the headline. Seeing the bruises, all this other shit. I just find that curious, But now, to that Addie person's credit, when she's talking to XQC, again, I implore you all to go watch it. She says that she implies that she doesn't believe Amber Heard. That's what the implication she gives. I mean, she's talking to XQC, who doesn't believe her, and his whole damn chat room, like 80,000 readers. Most of those people, the vast majority of them, don't believe her either. So now she's gone on and was like, yeah, I just can't see it. I can't believe it, especially after everything we've heard. And listen, these people, when they run these networks, they got to do clickbaity shit to get views and stir up some drama or whatever. That happens, whether people like it or not. It happens. But she got retweeted by the shit stain herself, so I just thought it was important. Okay, and again, I apologize, I'm really scattered today, but we had police officers testify today. They were the ones that were called to the scene. That they testified they saw nothing disturbed. They didn't take a report because like Amber Heard, Raquel Pennington, and her boyfriend Josh Drew, they weren't cooperative. They wouldn't even give them Johnny Depp's name. They were hush hush. Okay, this big badass, monster, quote quote, came tearing through this bitch, and nobody want to talk about it. But I found this was kind of funny because this dude could not be bullied. And she asked him a pretty poignant question here, and I loved his response. I'll play this for you.
Let's go back to the description that you gave, and you responded again to it with Mr. Chu, that she was crying and had a red face, and you said the redness was consistent with crying. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Why was she crying?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know why she was crying.
Did you ask her?
I personally did not, because my partner interviewed her.
Then when you done,
and they keep doing this thing, and it's hilarious because he's like, well, why was she crying? He was like, well, that would have been great to know. You and me both would like the answer to that question. And then she tries to be like, well, did you question her? Anybody that knows, especially in domestic violence calls, his partner, the female, was trained to, in men to several domestic violence calls. She was trained specially to be dispatched to them. Okay. And women are usually sent to, speak with women. And so what typically happens is, that most people know this, they separate people, so they make sure they can't, cross-reference their stories. If they're going to lie to the cops, they'll separate them just to make sure, even a victim can talk, and they'll feel safer to talk to someone if the perpetrator is standing right next to them. So what happened in this call is typical of what happens in a call. He went off to talk to the guy, Josh Drew, and the female officer stayed back to talk to Amber Heard and Raquel. But again, remember, these people weren't being cooperative. They weren't like, oh my God, you're never gonna believe what happened. That some bitch, she hit me with a phone in my face. No. It was over. They walked in like, hello, what's your name? I don't really want to say. You know what I mean? They were being tight-lipped. Wouldn't even tell him Depp's name. You know what I mean? She's apparently, I don't know, she's been beat up by a ghost. I don't know what, but I'll let you hear some of this because it's the same shit with his side, grabbing at straws. And it's like that you literally at this point, if you feel like they don't have a case, there's a reason for that. They're like Muffin Gate. My last video, the one before this one, where I uploaded yesterday about the muffins, that shit was hilarious. She railed this woman about, well, you told your husband you bought muffins for Amber Heard. She's like, no, I didn't. He bought them for me. Muffin Gate.
With your partner later, did you ask Officer Science why Amber Heard was crying?
No, my partner never advised me. She spoke with her while I was speaking with the gentleman.
You recall that you testified that there was another woman who was embracing Ms. Heard on the sofa at the end of your visit.
Yes.
Do you recall asking why she was embracing and holding Ms. Heard? Why did you not ask either the other woman or Ms. Heard why the woman was embracing and holding Ms. Heard?
Why I did not is
Remind you, he's already testified. Okay, he's already testified to the fact that he went and questioned the male, and his partner questioned the females. Does not matter what he's just said. Does not matter that she register as I did not talk to the women. Now she's like, well, why didn't you ask the women? He just fucking said he didn't talk to the girls, you daft dumbass. Like it's literally, this is the nails on the chalkboard. I think that so many of us are like, oh my God, this shit could have been cut down in half if they weren't trying to trip people up and get them to say something that they could later hang them on. That's how it feels. And it's just nuts.
because we were trained in the academy to separate the parties and to try and attempt to build a rapport with the individual we're speaking with.
Yes.
Therefore, it was two females and my partner was female. So therefore, my partner spoke with the females.
Would it be fair to say you deferred to Officer Sines to conduct any type of investigation with both Ms. Heard and the other woman who was embracing her?
I know my partner spoke with Ms. Heard. I am unaware. I cannot testify if she spoke with the other female.
When you said you learned at the academy to divide up the parties, was it your understanding that parties meant the victim and the suspect?
All parties.
Do you know whether anyone made an attempt to divide up the woman from Ms. Heard, the woman that was embracing her?
I'm unaware.
Okay. Now, the redness that you said was on Ms. Heard's face when she was crying and emotional, could it also have been consistent with injury?
I do not think so. I perceived it as redness from crying.
Did you consider whether the redness on the face might be from something in addition to crying?
You know what I mean?
No, I do not.
And you had never...
This is the exhausting, like, I mean, it's literally like they're getting paid by the question. Do you not feel like they're getting paid by the question? It's like literally, if you can, every question they ask, they get a $5 bill. So she's going to ask the same question 40,000 times in 10 different ways. And she's like, whoop, I get my $20,000 today, bitches. I'm going to be in my BMW by the end of the week. Like, that's how it feels. Because it's like he said, I didn't talk to the women. I only talked to the man. Well, why did you separate the women? Do you know if anybody separated the women? I talked to the man. Like, well, why wouldn't you separate the women? Like, I talked to the man. Okay, well, when you saw this on her face, did it look like an injury? No, just looked like something where she was crying a lot. Well, did you consider it could have been like he just said? He thought it looked like she was crying, and that's what that was from her crying. This is the same woman that's like, do you know what foundation she wears? Do you know what eyeliner she puts on? Do you know what concealer she wears? Do you know what lipstick brand she buys? Do you know what America cream is? I mean, Amica cream, I mean, Arica cream, whatever the cream is. Do you know what that is? Like, it is like snooze fest.
Never met Ms. Heard before, correct?
Never even seen her.
And would it be fair to say that you don't know what Ms. Heard's, what her characteristics are for swelling, bruising, redness, correct?
I want you to make sure you heard what her characteristics are for swelling and bruising. You can't make this shit up.
Correct.
I'm going to ask you, Officer Haddon, to look at what has been marked as Haddon Exhibit number 8, and it's from the Office of the Chief of Police, and it's dated November 24, 2014, and the subject is Domestic Violence Supplemental Report, Form 15.40.02 revised. Do you see that?
I do.
This was provided to us by the LAPD in response to our document requests. Did you have an understanding that there was a domestic violence supplemental report form that was in place as of
I'm going to give you the important words here. Domestic violence report form. Report means that they've seen enough to establish that there was a crime, and you can do that even regardless of the witness's cooperation or the victim's cooperation. Like if you believe there's a crime has been committed, you can write a report. Okay, but you don't. Every cop does not go to a call and write a damn report. Honestly, it rarely happens. It's only if they've witnessed a crime do they write a freaking report. And if they've not seen any damage in this place, you've got these people that aren't cooperating. They say they don't want to write a report. They won't even say anything happened. Then that this woman is like, I don't. It's like they are so desperate to try and pin shit on cops to be like, well, you just didn't know. You were just lazy police officers. You didn't do any of this. When it says right here in your book, right here, it says you're supposed to do this and this and this. But the problem is, it says in the beginning what she just stated, if they write a report. You don't do any of this shit if you don't write a report. But she's going to go through this litany of shit, and I'm going to subject you all to it because I had to hear this crap. Where she's like, well, did you do this? Did you do that? And he's like, no, 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 no. Well, because they never wrote a report. They never saw a crime in their mind. They didn't see anything that would constitute a crime.
May 21st, 2016.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what is exhibit number 9. And this is called Domestic Violence Supplemental Report.
They report.
And it is something, is it your understanding that the police officer fills this out?
Yes, we fill that up.
Okay. Do you recall whether you had filled out this supplemental report at any time prior to May 21st, 2016?
I don't recall.
Now, if we look at the first column on the domestic violence supplemental report, it has a column that says victim. And then there are a number of descriptive words underneath with boxes. Do you see that?
I do.
All right. Now, the first one is shaky.
I'm going to give myself away a little bit here. In my early days, in my 20s, I was a 911 dispatcher. Okay. Means I'm the one that took 911 calls, and then I dispatched the police to those calls. Or I was the one sitting there at the radio when the cop called back because they pulled somebody over or whatever the case may be. Okay. That was the liaison between the people calling or the police officer, wherever he was, if he needed to call in a tag number, whatever. Okay. This shit does not work like she wants it. These people have no clue what it's like to be a police officer, and it's very telling. They couldn't even bother to, I don't know, read Cops for Dummies, before they went to this trial. It's so obvious that they're so desperate that she's wasting everybody's time by doing this shit. It's like, here, let me read all this off to you, where it says right here, you're supposed to do this and this and this when you file a report. They didn't file a fucking report.
What, if any, observations did you make of Ms. Heard shaking?
No, I don't recall.
Oh, I went on. I forgot what I was going to say. When they're called, 911 is called, the dispatcher, especially say like, well, what happened is Amber Heard's two friends, Raquel Pennington and Io Tilla Wright, is the ones that called 911. Io Tilla Wright did from New York. Then New York reached out, got in touch with the LA police. But Raquel was standing right next to her. Ironically, wouldn't even tell them her name. She don't even know her name. Shit had to be drug out of her. Amber's name. We can go back and listen to that shit too later if you want to hear all this stuff. Again, you've probably all heard this shit before. If not, you want me to throw this in here, let me know down below, and I will go like drag that stuff and kind of play it for you in real time. But I'm sure most of you know. But they both called, and when it's dispatched, in the call, it'll say like it'll call the person a victim, even if before the cops get there and establish that there is a victim. That's just what they're referred to, right? Or perpetrator, and that's not even usually in the CAD. It's like caller or like victim stated or friend of victim, just to try and give the police officers an idea of what they're getting themselves into. It could be nothing. You have to understand when they go on domestic violence calls, they're either walking into somebody that threw a potato, they could have thrown a hamburger bun at somebody or just said, "You're a piece of shit. Well, I'm calling the cops on you." Or it could be like there's somebody bloody laying in the damn living room, because it's escalated into violence. I mean, you know what I mean? And everything in between.
All right. What, if any, observations did you make about Ms. Heard being unresponsive?
The little time I dealt.
Remember, she's reading off this domestic violence victim report thing that they did not do because they did. I'm gonna shut up. I've said it enough.
With her,
sorry.
Yeah, she was unresponsive and crying.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part. She was unresponsive and crying, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess you've answered the third one here, that she was crying, correct?
Yes.
You said it.
All right. And what, if any, observations did you make of whether Amber Heard was scared?
I didn't.
You didn't what?
I did not observe.
I'm sorry. Are you finished with that answer? It sounded like it was a half. I just want to make sure you were.
Yeah, I did not observe her being fearful.
Okay, but Ms. Heard did not want to file a report, correct?
Correct.
She did not want to press charges, correct?
Correct.
And she did not want to tell you the name of her husband, correct?
I don't know because I didn't talk to her.
Well, do you recall testifying?
She keeps talking to him like you don't recall this, or she didn't say this, and he's told her now. Remember how much of our time we're wasting, and I'm wasting yours because if I have to sit down with a steaming pile of shit, all you that's coming over here have to eat the same thing with me. Okay, so he said in the beginning he talked to the man and didn't talk to the women, but we're gonna carry on for God knows how long about why he didn't ask Amber something. And y'all think Southern people are stupid. Well, we can smell stupid shit from a mile away, apparently, compared to the people in LA. I mean, I don't know. No, I'm not even gonna say this because they're in LA. I don't know where Cat Lady's from, but Lord help us all.
Earlier, that Ms. Heard was uncooperative?
Yes, she was uncooperative with my partner.
All right. And do you recall testifying that Ms. Heard was uncooperative because she was emotional, she was crying, she wasn't sure whether she wanted to file a report or not, and she was not, then she said she did not want to?
Yes, that's what she had spoken with my partner about.
Do you know why Ms. Heard did not want to file a report or did not want to press charges?
No, I did not.
Officer Hadman.
Do you see do you know why she didn't want to file? That's not their job. They don't sit there and go, they don't have time to be people's psychiatrists. You the ones that called the fucking police. Okay, imagine this shit. Pizza Hut, hey, yeah, I need a double stuffed extra pepperoni because you know that's my jam. Yep, 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 blah, blah, blah. X-Ray Street. I ain't telling you where I live. Yep, 30 minutes. Perfect. Click. Open the door. Hi, Pizza Hut. Well, who the hell are you? I don't need your shit. No, I don't want to talk to you. Nope, I ain't got no money for you either. Nope. I mean, think about that shit for a minute. Put that in they've called the cops. The cops have showed up. Nobody will talk to them. Nobody wants to tell them anything. And now this is being questioned repeatedly over why they didn't do anything. Like, Lord have mercy.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as deposition exhibit number 10. And I'm going to have you looked at it. It starts out with field notebook divider, domestic violence laws, LAPD form 18.30.02.
Make sure we sound important with the numbers.
And it has the date. This is date of January 31, 2010 at the bottom with
that matters.
With the footnote. I'm going to just direct your attention here to case preparation, and this is relating to domestic violence laws.
I'm so sorry I keep doing this, guys, because this is my wheelhouse. I'll later on become an administrator for, at a clinic, whatever. business side of shit. Okay. I wanted to be a lawyer. That's probably why I enjoy watching this kind of stuff. I just didn't have the money. I was paying for my own college education. But it is so frustrating to sit here. And now she's going through some other document that's all about filing a damn report and shit. Again, it doesn't matter what he said in the beginning. Doesn't matter. We're going to wait. Everybody, get your popcorn.
Case preparation says, note the complainant's emotional and physical condition. You see that?
This is if you're filing
Yes.
a report.
Okay. And then ensure all evidence is gathered and preserved, e.g. bloodied clothing, damaged bones, damaged property. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you or Officer Sines provide any kind of notes relating to Ms. Heard's emotional and physical condition on May 21, 2016?
No.
Did you or Officer Sines ensure all the evidence was gathered and preserved, including the damaged property?
I said no, and all these things would have been documented if there was a report.
All right, let's go to the next bullet point.
See, it doesn't matter. He just said it. He just said it. He just said it again. All this stuff would have been done if we filed a report. What does moron number 1 say? Well, let's go to the next one. She literally, he says, wow, this hasn't been done. I don't know. What are we on? Line item number 4. And what does she say? Well, let's go to number 5 then. He's just said to her, none of this shit's been done because we didn't do a report. Let's go to number 5.
It says ensure photographs are taken of injuries or lack of injury to complainant.
Now, what I find hilarious about this one is how she goes, lack of injuries. Now, remember, this whole time she's been badgering before and all these other people about makeup, concealer, and all this other shit. And now she's going to, like, lack of injury. Wait a minute. I thought Amber Heard, but it was obvious. She's all like, been beat up by Mike Tyson like that dude on the damn airplane the other day. I thought it was supposed to be visible to all of us. We were all morons because we couldn't see it. I mean, somehow, I don't know. She's like invisible woman. I don't tell me. But now she's like lack of visible injuries. Like, what are you saying there, attorney? You know, she didn't have nothing on her face and you're mad at him because he didn't take pictures of the nothing burger? What's going on here?
And accused.
Yeah,
Both the day of injury photographs are taken of injuries or lack of injury to complainant and accused.
I find that.
Both the day of and day after. Did you take any photographs to show a lack of injury?
And
No.
she said it again. Did you take any photos to show lack of injuries? Wait a minute. Your whole case is built on she had injuries. Remember?
Did you take any photos to show a lack of damage?
Lack of, listen to shit. Lack
No.
of damage.
All right.
Thought there was all kinds of damage, Mrs. Attorney.
And then this next one is ensure photographs are taken of the scene and damaged property, etc. So I've already asked you that one, so let's go to the next one. Canvas location and interview.
Imagine somebody standing up there in front of him, like doing the Carlton or some shit. And he sits back and is like trying to stop from busting laughing because this shit.
All witnesses, including children, neighbors, law enforcement.
Because it's almost like you can see a head right here. Like somebody's like, oh my God.
Did you do that in this instance?
Not be his head though. That could be his.
Yes.
Who did you interview?
I spoke with the gentleman.
So see, we're back to the very beginning when he said he talked to the guy, not the girls.
All right, anyone else?
No, that's it.
Now, there were 2 females present in addition to Ms. Heard, were there not?
Already been through this, remember?
Yes. Including her, I believe there's 2.
You don't recall the 3rd woman there?
Already answered.
No, I don't recall a third one being there.
All right. Did you ask if there was anybody else that was present who had witnessed any aspect of this?
I don't recall exactly, but
Let's go to exhibit number 11. So what did you determine this call was after your investigation?
dispute, a verbal dispute.
It's just hilarious.
It's not against the law to argue. I argue with my wife.
So you decided that there was
Not against the law to argue. I argue with my wife. And like it's like that shit goes right over their head.
only a verbal dispute, therefore it didn't constitute domestic violence?
From the information or lack of information I was able to receive from the witness and the information my partner gathered, yes.
Is it your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on charges of misconduct.
Now, what you're trying to intimidate him? This is scummy. Are you aware? Listen, that you can be brought up on charges because, like, again, that this is scummy.
If they engage in neglect of duty?
Yes.
All right. Is it also your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on misconduct charges at the LAPD if they violate department policies, rules, or procedures?
Yes.
And is it your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on charges of misconduct if they engage in conduct which may tend to reflect unfavorably upon the employee or the department?
Yes.
Like, he laughs about it because it's like, this is just so scummy. Okay, hang on one second. Okay, now we're going to tour by Twitter a little bit. Okay, I try to bookmark some of this stuff for you guys. I see that come out with some pretty good stuff, right? And look at it jump like that. Isn't that annoying as I don't know what else? Okay, so what happens here is okay, right here in court, they played some of the body cam footage. This is this police officer that was actually walking with body cam footage. You remember down this hallway, we're supposed to see wine everywhere and like a basket thrown down the hall, and like there was supposed to be a broken glass down there. And like his body cam, it picks up none of that. Look, I mean, it shows the floor the whole way there. It shows you all the way down it. Like listen, it's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna do this. And of course, this low volume stuff, I don't want to blow your ears out. Knocking on the door. Remember, there's supposed to be all kinds of crap going on with this hallway. Wine, I mean, it would have been visible. The glass that was broke, the basket with the fruit was supposed to be slung down this hallway. Like, they just walked where it was supposed to be.
Hello.
And there's Josh Drew.
How you doing? Doing all right.
There's Josh Drew that comes to the door with like his foot holding it. Look right here, because remember it has those spring things at the top, and like it's nuts.
You guys had somebody come out here earlier already?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I can't remember their names offhand. We have the card inside.
Diane, maybe? Yeah, we got another call. I don't know if it's related to the same call from earlier or if somebody called again.
Probably.
We just need to check. One of you guys know someone in New York or something?
Yeah, she probably called twice.
Okay. You just talk to your wife and make sure it's not.
New York is, I'll tell it right. She called as well. She was the one that was actually Amber was on the phone with, and then Johnny Depp was standing there with her when she called her, and then she started acting like I don't know, call the 911 shit. Remember these cops? There was 4 cops in total. 2 in this one, 2 in the previous call. None of them saw any kind of injury on her ass that night. They didn't think this shit through.
Oh, okay.
Different conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, whoever it is, you just gotta check on and make sure they're all good.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
See, they need to check on her. Okay, they're doing the procedure right here. They are. So what they've gotten is another call. They're stating that, okay, yes, it was probably from the other call, but we still need to check and make sure she's okay. This makes them look good, but you wouldn't know it from her attorneys. They're like, oh, you went what? You did blah, blah, blah. But they did not treat this, because he just, if you didn't hear it, he just said, let me go in here and I'll get you the business card and show you. And they're like, no, we need to make sure.
They're all good.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah, I don't know, just because we got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure.
Give me 1 second. Back up, please, back up.
Can we just come in and just check? We just need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then
He tried to move the dog to shut the door, and he was look at it speed walking. Look at this foot. This foot ain't like done to that. No, he's like, get my ass in here. They're coming. So they're like, no, we're gonna come in and we're gonna make sure she's all right. Watch.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need.
So, we can, if y'all want to watch some of that, like with my commentary to it. What I don't want to do is I don't want to overflood you guys that have been watching some of this stuff, at other channels. I'm not trying to drive y'all nuts with me going back over a lot of the stuff you've already seen, right? Sorry, but this thing keeps kicking me down. So, but then somebody did a really good job of this. It's so laughable how people are commenting in disbelief that Shannon Curry had dinner with Johnny Depp's legal team at Johnny's house. Yet all this was going on before and during the trial in the UK. And it kind of shows with the judge. And then he wrote the book about media law. And then he was married to this Camilla Palmer. And their son, look, is Robert Palmer, right? And then he works at the talk radio in the UK. And at the wireless, owned by the wireless group, News Corp, which goes all the way down to the Sun, which is the one that published that article. He's employed by Dan Wooten, who also wrote this art, who also, it looks like he also, it also ties back, I'm sorry, that article, and it's the one that refers to Amber Heard. And then she went to this private dinner. Guess who were guests at this private dinner? Her friend, Kathy Lett, right? Hosted the party. The guests were it says this was her husband, Geoffrey Roberts, who was, I guess, helped write this book, and the employee of and a mentor of the Jen Robertson. And I mean, like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like all this shit. And then look, what's crazy is this Jen Robertson. Here's a picture of her standing right there with, guess who that is right there? Old Turd Herd herself. So, like, I mean, and then they got mad because the person that remember, he's the one that hired the attorneys. It's his case. He gets to employ the expert witness. Shocker. He gets to vet her. It's his trial. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they think that works, but trust me, if they were going to employ an expert witness, that'd be no problem. Anyway, it says, remember, Kathy lied and said the article was untrue and started blocking people. Oh, this is another person. Went in, it says, care to explain why you were throwing a party for this abuser, or did this journalist misrepresent the situation? I'm hoping this is the case. Does Kate even know Amber was going to be there, or was she joining your party via Skype? So it's like, look, Kylie, Kate Blanchett, and the rest of Star Girls gang throw a party after a torrid week in Johnny Depp libel case. Like, see, all these people are damn tied together. But whatever. And this was funny. I don't think Izzy person, by the way, great person to follow on Twitter. Show her some love if you got a Twitter account. Is I was laughing because they screamed, Amber, why you always look like you got to take a shit? So I think they missed that part. And this is very, you cannot hear this if it's not blaringly loud. I'm so sorry, but it is.
Hey, she brought this on herself. We can be here if you want her.
She says, come on, Amber, I have BPD too, in case it's what it starts out.
BPD too, but I didn't beat my boyfriend.
But I don't beat my boyfriend.
She's already waiting on her. Amber.
Okay, so I thought I'd show you this is how the judge acted after they took the call from the guy that worked at the building, the penthouse building. He literally gave his testimony sitting in his car, hitting his vape, like took off driving. He took off driving. Okay, I mean, you just can't make this shit. It was just funny. And so she kind of took her glasses off and was like, I have never. But guess who? Guess who? This wasn't long enough, but jumps right in and be like, I know, Judge. When he started driving, cat lady. Yep, cat lady. So this is hilarious. I don't even care. I'm not monetized yet. I mean, they know 1,000 subs, and I can apply to be monetized. So I don't even give a shit. This is hilarious. Hilarious.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
Now, if that's not funny, you're not.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
I'm sorry. That is so funny. I remember I watched a video. These people got to be dying because there was a TikTok video. This was probably, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And it was just a short clip I'd stumbled on. I don't even remember where. And it was a woman. You could tell it was a wife and a husband. And she was sitting out in the living room. And he was like, must have been like down the hall, like maybe in his office or the bedroom or something. And she was like, do you know? And he screams out from back, like you can't even see him, okay, in this video. He screams out, the Muffin Man? And she said, the Muffin Man. And he goes, the Muffin. It was just the time. And I don't know, I don't know. It was just so funny because now this has happened. And I thought this was pretty cool. If you guys know where this person, because there's a guy sitting in the courthouse that's taking pictures of behind them, and this has got to be one of his pictures, and it shows he's always got his like little mints here, and then he's sitting in the court drawing these pictures. And like here, look, he's got his little pile of candy here, like he points at it. He shares it with all these people. If I could go find, I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know what that is. I'm kind of scared to click on some of this stuff. Yep, that's him drawing again. But he's drawing and he eats his little candy and he offers it to all the people in the court. And then like, look, it says the kitchen video versus trial reaction feature in Amber Heard. I made this video comparing how Amber reacted to the kitchen cabinet incident in real life and how she reacted to it in court. The differences are huge. Look at her. What the hell was that? Anybody want to tell me what that was? I mean, look, she's looking at the jury. Like, are they looking at me? Are they going to look at me? I need them because remember the gallows out there. I don't say that. I keep saying the gallows. I don't know why, but the people sitting out there observing this, right, in the cheap sheets and the pews. They've laughed out loud to Johnny Depp and some of his witnesses. I mean, it is like it's flying all up her in her ass. But it's like, what is this?
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Look at her. Oh, are you kidding me? Hope they fix this shit on damn Twitter. And I don't even know what that was. It's like she's the one that made that that noise. Cause see, he's all the way over here, and it sounds like she hit an ashtray or a glass or an ink pen or something. She's the one that caused the noise. You know how loud it is next to the phone she set up to record this shit. She jumps at that.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
And she walks over and tries to cover the camera. When he turns to come her way, she goes over and
What
stands
happened?
in front of it. I've already showed you in other videos. Look at what cup she's carrying. What travel mug does she have in her hand? What travel mug did they take a picture of with lines? What travel mug was sitting in front of the massive bags of marijuana? Travel mug? No, like I'm telling you. She better be glad she was married to Johnny Depp the short time that she was, so he could get it.
Nothing happened this morning. You know that?
She is in the moment. She is in the moment while this is happening, and she's standing there like, "What's wrong? What's the matter? We're all great." But now in court, she's going to act like she was afraid for her life. And when he throws her phone, she goes and picks it up. She snickers and smiles.
No.
So then nothing
You know
happened.
why? Because this is the only video that she has that shows any kind of him getting mad, like shows him like slamming something or whatever. This is it, y'all. I mean, breaking news.
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy.
See, look how she hurries up and gets her cup down in front of it. Listen, unless you're living on a tiny island and I mean drinking and smoking way too much hashisha and I don't know, deep in 5 gallons of moonshine, you know that she's hiding this camera from him, trying to make sure he doesn't see it because she's recording it. Like it's, I mean, it's probably becoming obvious at this point. There's an agenda here. Why is you recording this shit?
Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my God. Look, now she's so scared she's about to go pick it up and laugh. But you know, in court, oh my God, jury,
You
are you
were
looking?
smashing shit.
Here we go. Yes, she looks real scared. Evil, evil, evil. And then look at the, oh yeah, this is another one that's nuts. This is Eve Barlow. What's your wink at the cat lady? This is whenever after they had passed up that that quote evidence that his witness, God, I can't remember her name, the lady, the friend, then they got her kicked out of court because they showed a year-old Instagram post, year and a half almost, Instagram post and tried to portray it as she was posting about this trial, and that was a complete lie. It came from her. Now she's supposed to be, I don't know, she's supposed to be Amber Heard's best friend. She's supposed to be Amber Heard's partner, meaning relationship like partner. Then she's supposed to be a journalist, and then she's not a journalist. Like it's nuts, okay? But look at the wink. She winks at her. Winks at her. Oh, got you, girl. Don't you worry. The snake in the grass. That's me. Don't you worry. Doing my job. Amber gonna be my friend for at least 6 more days. That's right. Okay. So oh, this is when they were trying to block the must steal. This is all other crap. No, this is about them throttling stuff. Yeah, I think that's it for my stuff. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I want to show this because I thought this was really good. Because if anybody's known, this would be the one that knows this. Okay, so it says, I anticipate the following, but maybe not enough time for all tomorrow with experts next week. So she's basically, Laura B is saying who she thinks is going to be testifying tomorrow. All right, so there's your list. If you don't follow the real Laura B, she's another one that's been following this for a very long time. It's huge shout outs to her for how much she's covered this case. She's, I think, there right now. She was. I don't want to speak for her, but I believe that she's still there and will probably continue to be there. And honestly, she's one of those people that, to me, deserves to be there because she's been dedicated to this. I know everybody else is finding out about this now, but she's been there since the beginning. Like I have been watching this shenanigans since before they went to actual trial in the UK. I was following it before they had that trial in the UK. And so I just don't, there's so many people that have like Tug, like that umbrella guy. He has consistently put out videos every single day for, I don't know, over a year. So I feel a little like I don't want to go in. I mean, I think if you're a decent content creator, I'm not trying to take views from these people like from him. But everybody else is now on this and doing videos about it or whatever. At least I know some shit about the damn case. Like when I watched, I'm just going to say, because listen, I don't play this game where I'm like, oh, but I'm going to protect people. I don't know. I did that shit for 4 years. People wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. But like I went over to the Popcorn Planet channel. I think it was last week. It was right after was it last week, the beginning of last week, when Johnny Depp's friend testified, the one that's the artist, the one that lives now, still lives with it, lives in one of his houses. And I went over there and just listened really quick because I told everybody, listen, whatever. But they were on and they were covered. It was right after he testified. He was like, oh, yeah, Depp's now friend that he met because, he liked his artwork. And I was just like, no, it's not. Johnny Depp didn't meet that dude because he saw his artwork in 2008. Johnny Depp has known that guy since they both lived in Florida when they were teenagers. So that's just kind of irritating to me. Like, like when people like say that shit like matter of factly, like, oh yeah, it just proves to me they're not watching the trial or not bothering to like research, actually who these people are to him. Like to make that statement like he met him as an artist is factually wrong. He met him because Johnny Depp was, in Florida, and Johnny Depp liked, playing the guitar, and one of his friends was in a band, and they needed a guitarist, and he met Johnny Depp through his buddy. I mean, they were I think 14 or 15. So yeah, he's known him a lot longer than 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So again, it can be a little irritating, when that stuff kind of happens. And that makes me want to do videos because I do know enough about the damn trial to know that. And I am watching every freaking minute of it. Like today, I had to go to the damn dentist and I still had on my cell phone with my earbuds in while I got a damn dental drill. You know what I'm saying? It was hard. It was horrible. I was in that freaking chair for almost 3 hours. My mouth was so dry and sore, I will say it. I could really put a joke in there, but I don't want a kid to be possibly walking by. But all right, I got one more thing, and this could be a long one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a jabber, and I like to be like crack jokes and shit. So I've been waiting for this trial for 2 flipping years. So yeah, I'm probably gonna, unless I'm covering it so much. Look how many videos I've put out the last flipping week, and look at my other regimen, because I care about this case. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't care for a lot of the things he did. Okay, some of the things, his personal shit he has said, because he's a pretty quiet person, kind of ticked me off. But I separate shit out. I don't have to like everybody's opinion about everything to think they're a decent person. And hopefully, if the world would start acting more like that and everybody would stop making everybody the damn enemy because of their politics, we'd be a whole hell of a lot better place. I don't give a shit if you're a Democrat or Republican or middle of the road. As long as you're a decent freaking person, then we can have a debate on where maybe you feel a certain way about a policy versus me. I don't like it. Like, I mean, I'm happy for the people that are on Twitter now getting to talk about the damn beer bug. For once, I can't tell you how many people were banned for posting facts. Like, what the hell is that shit? But you got terrorists on the thing. We're gonna see. I'm not jumping on board. Oh, let me say this too. I'm not jumping on board. And Tug openly says this shit where he does not think Elon Musk. They've insinuated he'd done this, like doing this shit for Amber Heard. Like, oh well, it's convenient. Well, how when he bought Twitter and going to try and bury the stories and bury the whatever. If anybody followed that, what happened was Elon Musk has been talking about this shit even since he went on Rogan. He was talking about AIs need to be regulated 5 years ago. Okay, if anybody bothered to research this shit, so what happened is he went on, he's been talking about it getting more, authoritative and, blah, 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 blah. And then he went on to the Babylon Bee. He did an interview with the Babylon Bee. And shortly thereafter, the Babylon Bee got banned on Twitter. He actually reached out to them and asked them about it. It was like, did you really get banned? It was like, yeah, I got banned. The next thing you know, he puts out that poll about people think that, Twitter should be, be a platform for freedom of speech since it's a town square. He even said your answer will matter, and everybody voted yes that they become a censorship central. And I think it was like almost 80% of people voted yes, and it was bad. And then, well, next thing you know, he gets the 9% shares, and then he decides not to go on. I think he figured out he really wasn't going to have any say so, and that's kind of how all that trickled down. But if you followed that story, it was plain to see what triggered that. He really liked the people at the Babylon Bee, and Elon's got enough damn money. He's talked constantly about trying to do good things with it. Like, bringing up a tweet from 2018 about him donating money to the ACLU does not do anything for me. It's the same thing if you were to post pictures with Johnny Depp standing next to Harvey Weinstein and then trying to insinuate he was some pedo because he was standing next to Harvey Weinstein in a picture. I don't jump on that train. Okay, all these people in freaking Hollywood go to these big damn banquet and all this other crap with a lot of big old room full of all these other, stuck up snobs, and they all take pictures of each other. Half of them don't know. I mean, more than half, I'd say, don't even know each other. They're just like, oh, let me get a picture. So Elon Musk gets a snapshot with Ghislaine Maxwell. They're not even touching. They're like, oh my God, did you see it? I mean, he was on the Lolita. Come on, come spare me. Like that's again. Listen, then I must be a conspiracy person because I'm gonna tell you something. I have cut my hair off and I have donated it 4 times to the Locks of Love. And I mean, when I cut my hair off, I mean, every time I cut it off, it was at least 16 inches of hair. I will let it grow all the way to the very bottom of my back, the top of my, basically to my ass. And then I'll have that shit cut right below my shoulders. I've done it since I was like 23. Okay, so for 20 years. And then I found out that the Locks of Love wasn't actually making wigs for kids and giving them away for free. They were actually charging for people for that shit. And so I was like, what the hell? So then I cut it off and I donated it to St. Jude. And I was like, well, okay, well, St. Jude does wigs or whatever. And then my mother got sick with cancer and she lost all of her hair. And I've never seen my mother be a vain person ever. My mother barely ever wore makeup. She was always in the yard messing with her flowers. Okay. She was not somebody that had to wear nice shit, none of that. But when she lost her hair, I watched my mother. I can't even talk about this stuff. I watched it bother her enough to where I was like, you know what? I've been cutting my hair off and giving it. I cut my hair off. And I tried to find anyone that would help me make my mother a wig. And after 20 years of donating my hair, I couldn't find one person to help me. That bag of hair is still sitting in my drawer in there that I cut off for my mother. And then I just cut off my hair 2 months ago again because it was longer than it ever been because it pissed me off. I couldn't find nobody to make a wig. So all that shit had grown, I mean, telling you, longer than it had been, I think, ever in my life. And before I knew I was going to go to this dentist, and my hair would drag the floor. Okay. When your hair gets that long, you have to worry when you lean back, it's going to drag all over the floor. And I didn't want to have to deal with it. So I cut my hair off my damn self like 2 weeks before my first appointment. And that shit is still sitting in there right now in a damn bag. Because I'm like, where I'd rather sell the stuff and make the money myself than give it to an organization I think is supposed to help somebody and don't do a damn thing with it. And there, sorry for the ramble, but that's the freaking truth. So again, am I now some backstabbing person that acts like I'm doing a good deed, but really I know that they're trying to take money from sick kids? No. But just watching some people make these leaps, I don't know. It's nuts. It's nuts. Okay. Hang on a second. Then we're gonna end this with some comedy, hopefully. All right. Well, I take that back a little bit because I forgot I had done a bunch of notes on this. And if I did a video on all the notes I have taken in my notepad of all the videos I have watched to do breakdowns to, okay, I'd have 2,000 videos on my channel right now. And I mean it. I have pages and pages of notes. I have rooms, files of all kinds of deep dives and all kinds of different subjects because I love to research. I really do. But I've just had all this stuff going on. It takes a lot of time to I don't know how to edit. So every time you hear me say hang on, what I'm doing is I'm stopping this video. If you'll see this drop down, I drop down the Zoom, I pause it, and then I go bring up whatever it is that I want to play. I unpause it, and then I start playing the daggum video. That's my hillbilly way of doing an edited video. Takes a shit lot of time. That first video on my channel, that Trisha Paytas, the one right after the rock slide I caught coming home from Atlanta on top of Mont Eagle. Yeah, it's got, I think, probably close to 17,000 views now or whatever. I want you to know, I don't know how many hours of research and videos I watched. At least 40. I include at least 40 hours of watching Trisha Paytas content. And I'm telling you. And then I would take the clip of the video, I stick it over in a room. I'd write a little note about the timestamp that I needed, what the timestamp was about, blah, blah, blah. And then I would, I would, I would watch another one. And I did this. I mean, probably 5 weeks of that shit. And then when I went to do the video, I had to pull all these bars you see up here, all of them were like, say, YouTube clips, right? And I'd go pull the one up, I'd hit the record button, I'd play the clip, say whatever, I'd hit the pause, I'd pull the next one. I think it took me 6 hours to do that video. 6 hours of doing it right there. After I had everything pulled, everything ready, all the research done, all the notes done, it still took me 6 hours to do it because I don't know how to edit. I wished there was like some really simple, like the mobile app things. By the way, got any idea about the mobile app editor I can use on a PC? Please, for the love of Jesus, post it down in the bottom of the comments. I will kiss the ground that you walk on. I'm telling you, I'm not an idiot, but editing videos, Lord help us. So anyway, so this is the one where it's the body cam when I showed you a little bit on Twitter. I'm gonna let some of this play. Because this is the actual video itself, but I think that I wanted to play when they actually go into the apartment, unless her side cuts it off, but they go into the apartment, and I think it's important. It's going to be really low, I guarantee it, because these clips are super low. Look, I don't hear anything. What I do? Mute it up at the top. Look, is this dude froze? Look, his face is froze. Oh God, what's going on?
He's hot. Burning up.
But yeah, he just okay. That's what happened. All right, so they don't have their audio on their body cams all the time or whatever. They usually cut all that shit on, when they're about to go into a call, because they're not trying to record the audio of them bullshitting with the officer standing next to them talking what kind of lunch they gonna have or whatever, or what sergeant pissed him off. So that's what he's doing right there. He's cutting the audio off with his hand. That's what he's doing.
Coffee's hot. Burning up. We're
He said,
around 10
coffee's hot, burning up. I was like, listen, got the audio on, dude. Shut up. I don't know what's going on with the pop up. Oh, they got it paused, I guess. I don't know what they're doing. But this, look at walk down the hall. The important thing to remember here, and again, I can pull up those pictures, but I'm sure you've all seen them. The important thing to remember here, there's supposed to be a broken glass out here. There's supposed to be wine, big old puddle of wine, and it all splashed all over the walls. There's supposed to be a wicker basket with fruit dumped out outside the damn apartment. And then what? You tell me what you see. Any glass? Any glass? There's no glass. What is this thing right there? I can't tell what that is. They don't make note of it. I don't know what that is, but I can show you a picture of the glass. It's broken and the little shards everywhere. I don't know what that is. Rolled up, I don't know. Rolled up piece of toilet paper. I don't know. Johnny Depp's finger. Who knows? Look. You see any wine? I think there was one right there. See that stain right there? Like, I'll show you what I see. There's a, like right here, you can see a little spot right here that looks like it could be something spilled. But like, remember what they said was down here and what really is down here. Remember the guy that testified in court that worked as the house manager for Johnny Depp, talking about Amber's drinking habits, said that she was drinking at least, he was trying to be nice, he was like 1 to 2 bottles of wine a day. They brought it in by the cases. And she's the one that was there during the day. Johnny Depp was out filming the movie, and he would say she witnessed at least her drinking 1 to 2 bottles a day. I will tell you something. If I was Johnny Depp, he doesn't own them anymore. But as much as these are penthouses and they're worth billions of dollars, I mean, that looks like a gosh dang like sterile ass like courtroom jailhouse door. Like, I would be like, listen, we gotta do something, make these doors a little bit fancier. I mean, and they even have the like hinge thing at the top where they'll slam behind you. I'm like, man, really? They just look so cheap. And to think what's behind that door is like probably millions of dollars worth of collectibles and glass and jewelry and shit. And you got, a door that looks like it's at to the jail. I remember so like I said before, we've already had 2 cops come before. This is these cops came. I think it was like I think it was like 25, 30 minutes later or something to that effect. I'd have to look, but they show up. So they walk down the hall themselves. And you remember the thought about, they said they got a call from New York and it might be in reference, but we still need to check. And so Josh Drew comes to the door, Josh Drew, again, living off Johnny Depp. I'm not paying any fucking bills. That's what kind of man you need. Doing the bead making shit with his girlfriend, selling it down there at the local damn, flea market while they're living in a millions of dollar damn penthouse mansion. And Johnny Depp has left his own home and went and had to stay, staying somewhere else while these leeches are look like, oh, let me go answer the door and act like I live here. Dude couldn't afford to live in his damn car. He probably don't fucking know.
Officers, how you doing? Doing all right.
Oh, officers, how you doing? Yes, my name is Baby. The Tug calls him Baby Shirt. I mean, look at this shit. It's like, to his point, this shirt does not fit, brother. This is not an attractive look, my man.
Okay.
I can't remember their names offhand. We have the card inside.
Diane, maybe? Yeah, we got another call. I don't know if it's related to the same call from earlier.
And look at him. It's like weird because it's like he's standing there with his hands behind his back. Like, just seems so unnatural that it's like holding the damn doorknob to where, like, he's like, yeah, we don't need to let him in.
Or if somebody called again.
Probably.
We just need to check. One of you guys know someone in New York or something?
Yeah, she probably called twice.
Okay.
The hotel he also wrote a big piece about why I called 911. We can go over that shit too. We'll have all that shit pulled in the room.
Yeah. Well, whoever it is, I'm gonna step out. We just gotta check on them, make sure they're all good.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because we got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure.
Hang on a second.
Now look what he just said. He's like, no, because we got another call. I need to check it out. The guy goes, Josh Drew goes, well, hang on 1 second. And now this cop's not going to, great job. It's like, no, we're not going to go. We need to go in here and check. And literally like follows him in.
Please back up.
Now he's saying back up to a dog that's back here. That's back here. Back up, like, okay. And so they just, come on in. But he tries to shut the door. You see him? The cop puts his hand on it. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. You get a dog, pick the damn dog up. I have an 8-pound Shih Tzu. If he gets in the way, it's not like he's a damn 85-pound German Rottweiler. Okay, pick his ass up.
I don't know if she.
Now listen. He says IO called. She knows IO called. Remember that it was Amber Heard on the phone with her and told her to call 911. And then they're like, oh, she called too. And they're, oh, she did. Oh, shit. Like they didn't know.
It's okay, and then we.
Listen.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but.
Oh, shit. I missed that. Has anybody caught that? He just walked in there. Josh Drew walked in there and said, IO called twice. His girlfriend called. Raquel, that's standing in this apartment right now, was one of the people that called. They had 2 calls. Raquel Pennington called once. IO called the second time. They're lying right there. Has nobody picked that out yet? He just went around the corner and said, IO called twice. That's a lie. His fucking girlfriend was the first call. His girlfriend, the one sitting next to Amber, is the one that called. They all know this. And they just lied right there trying to cover up that she's the one that made the call.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever.
Oh, this is a trip. I don't think, surely people have caught this. Can we do, nope, see, unavailable, which is weird because it's a long crime, whatever. But has anybody caught this, that he goes around the corner and says, oh, I'll call twice? Nope.
We'll
That's
just come in
nuts.
and just
They're
check. We just need to
lying
make
right
sure everybody in
there.
here is okay, and then
They
we.
know this. It's not like they don't know this. IO called twice. A female voice says, "Oh, she did." And I swear that sounded like Raquel Pennington, and Raquel's the one that called.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification.
And see, and they know she didn't call twice because that second call came from New York. It's New York police that called LA police that dispatched these officers. The first call came from LA where they're all at.
So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. Is they're all good? Nobody else is in here?
No.
See?
The other officers came by and checked.
See what I mean? He just said, "Is anybody else in here?" And she said, "Nope, nobody else is in here." And now her lawyers are like, "You didn't go check, you didn't go watch, you didn't go look."
We just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. Is they're all good? Nobody else is in here?
No. The other officers came by and checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I'm going to irritate y'all. I really have not heard anybody say this. It's shocking to me that they lied right there. They covered up.
We'll just come in and just check. We just need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we.
Even though these cops will know that first call came from LA and the second call was called in from New York, and the girl that made the first call, this is her live-in boyfriend, is the one going to walk around this corner and oh my god. You hear him? IO called twice. IO called twice. Bullshit.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. Is they're all good? Nobody else. We just need to come in and make sure. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. Is they're all good? Nobody else is in here?
No.
Let's see. Look, face leaning forward. This is a face. It looks like they're all on the couch. Okay, they're all on the couch. Oh, doopy door with his little flipper flops. Poor dogs, man. I'm telling you, this poor dog was blamed for the infamous fucking me poo.
The other officers came by and checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah. Okay.
It must have been like a double call.
Okay. Who's Amber? Okay. And Johnny
Is definitely not here.
is not here. Okay.
Last probably like 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
2 hours. And that's what they just stated. That was probably 2 hours ago. I'm going to tell you right now, police officers are not going to show up to a scene 2 hours late. Okay? I know they live in LA and all, but she just said it was probably 2 hours ago. I'll have to listen. It's been a while. There's so much information to this case. I don't dig back up the times, but that she just said it's probably 2 hours ago.
Everything's all good then?
Now it's yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, if you guys need anything else,
Remember, there's supposed to be all kinds of spilled fucking wine through here. This little trolley thing over here is supposed to have shit all around it. Yeah, glass, remember? Oh, you know what I should have done? Oh, this is I think, no, that's not the right trolley. Let me see what I should have done. Was that basket on this table? There was, because there was
just come in and just check. We just need to make sure
I told
everybody in
you
here
I didn't get to watch the shit today. And so I'm having to suffer with this story.
is okay, and then we.
My first day I didn't really get to.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification.
There's nothing out of shape. I think that's that damn basket right there. I can take it.
We just need to come in and make sure that everybody.
That's the trolley right there. That's the trolley thing in the pictures.
So
Okay, this is the rug right here.
we just need to come in and make sure.
Oh, that's a good picture of it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna I got this let me pull up this really quick. I'm gonna screen grab this. I apologize, I really do, but like This is how I do my research. I'm going to take this. I'm going to look at the corner of that trolley, the corner of that rug, because there's a big, huge discrepancy in, were they shifting stuff around? What did they move? And because this is the second set of officers, that they're like, oh, well, they, picked up some of it, whatever. Okay, sure.
That everybody's okay?
Yeah.
They're all good? Nobody else is in here?
No. The other officers came by and checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah. Okay.
It must have been like a double call.
Okay. Who's Amber? Okay, and John?
And look, remember, they've called, let me remind you again, Raquel called the police for Amber. So did I.O. And when he said, who's Amber, she raised her hand up.
Who's Amber?
Look.
Okay, and Johnny?
Is definitely not here.
Is not here?
Johnny's definitely not here.
Left probably 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everything's all good then?
No, it's good.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, if you guys need anything else, just call us back.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you, officers.
Yep, thank you. Have a good night.
Back down. Going back down. There's one of the workers of the building. Holy shit.
So this one is defendant's exhibit number 4.
Okay, they bring him back in.
Before we go further, can you show you?
Look how much they skip in this shit. So it's like they must have objected the side, and then that's what's happening because this is recorded, from November of 2021.
Now you're putting verbatim and says
Look
22.
at how much it skipped around. Did you just see all that? I mean, did you just see all that?
Further, can you?
151 to 150.
Before we go further, can you show
that other objection apparently?
Now you're putting verbatim and says 22,
rewinding it and going back forward. They can't even get the damn thing on the top.
15.
Damn.
Do you recognize the person in this?
Yeah, that's me and Officer Diener.
I'm going to show you now the video cam footage. I've got the 2 from yours and from Officer Diener. So I'm going to go through and show those to you as we go. So this one is defendant's exhibit number 4.
Coffee's hot. Burning up. Word around penthouse 3. Be advised, we're stepping on onto the penthouse floor.
Well, they're not going to show the video on this. What are they doing? Showing it to him? We're going to see the same thing over again.
Before we go further, can you tell whether this one is your video cam footage or it is Officer Diener's?
This appears to be Officer Diener's.
And so that's you over here?
Yes.
What
Can
name?
you tell whether it's you?
Well, the first thing I want to do is go Diener, Neener, Neener.
Or Officer Diener that's saying Officer Signs?
I cannot tell.
Okay. How did you know that it was Officer Signs who'd been there?
Because I was aware which unit had responded to the call there, and I knew that she was working that unit.
I don't know if it's related to the same call from earlier or if somebody called again.
Probably.
We just need to check. One of you guys know someone in New York or something?
Yeah, she probably called twice.
Okay. Yeah.
He says it right there. She probably called twice.
You just talk to your wife just to make sure it's not mine. Or, okay.
Different conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, whoever it is, and stuff out. We just gotta check on them, make sure they're all good.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because we got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure.
Give me 1 second.
Now, would you say, and this is, I'll represent this as Josh Drew, and he's already provided testimony. Would you say that
it's generic white male, ma'am? That's what we refer to him now. It's generic white male.
Josh Drew was discouraging you from even coming into the apartment or seeing Amber Heard?
Yes.
I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay.
Yeah,
They're all good. Nobody else is in here.
No.
Okay.
The other officers came by.
All right. Officer Gatlin, can you tell which one of these people is doing the talking, of these three girls, women?
I can't tell for sure, but it appears to me it's the girl in the middle. That's the one that's leaning forward with the white shirt.
Do you know which one of these is Amber Heard?
From this view, I can't tell.
All right. Do you know what color hair the person that's the most forward, that's in the middle, has?
I can't tell from this.
Did you see the video? Yeah, and I'm playing it at the best quality, I believe. Let me make sure it's at 720. That's what they're streaming in, because they don't just lag that way or whatever. That's what's been streamed in a lot of places at 720. Because this is, by the way, come at me on crime. I just showed proof that one of your co-founders, literally the one that made the channel, is quite fine with a large streamer sharing your shit, and even gives them accolades to helping your channel grow. So unless you want to pick on the smaller people, you know, all about equality and, you know, fair treatment. Yeah, we'll see. But did you see the quality of, I mean, body cam footage and police officers, it's okay, it's not 4K.
Okay. Can you tell what color hair the woman, the furthest right is? It's in front.
I can't tell. It looks like her head is in a shadow.
Okay. Can you tell what?
Are we sitting here we go with you not being able to see, you not being able to tell if there's any injury? This is where you know where we're going, folks. This is just not your first rodeo.
What color hair the person that's middle but in the back?
No, same. Everything looks like the tops of their head.
I will say I love that though. That her hair's very pretty. It's kind of funky right here. It looks like it's been tied in a knot or some shit. I don't know if that'd be a little irritating, but it is cool with the twist and stuff. You know, shout out to the hair person. You know what I mean? Because that's
They're in shadows.
All right, and you believe?
But trust me, I'm no fan of this person. But I can say they've got a cute hairstyle. So don't come at me.
That the one to the
left. Oh,
left.
by the way, this is the objection guy. This is the dude that objected to his own question.
Heard?
No, I believe that that's the one that's doing most of the talking.
I had checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah, okay.
It must have been like a double call.
Okay. Who's Amber? Okay, and Johnny
is.
Did you see anybody acknowledge that they identify themselves as Amber?
It looks like it was the girl sitting furthest away from me, or furthest away from the camera.
Okay. And how would you describe the lighting in there?
Pretty dim and dark.
You said earlier you thought you were 10 to 15 feet away. How much would you estimate now that you are looking at this on body cam? How far away are you from the three women?
I would still say it's in that range.
Did you get a clear look at any of these three women?
I can't remember.
And did you ask to have any of them come out into the lighting so that you could take a better look at them to see if potentially they might not?
Think about what's happening here. He has gone in. Their testimony is that this is just like basically a repeater call. Somebody now they're trying to blame IO and saying she's called twice instead of Raquel calling once and IO calling, you know what I mean? Whatever. And then they're trying to now listen with a line of questioning going, did you ask them to come out in the light so you could see? You heard what they just told the man. they told him that they've already been here, and we've already talked to them. I think that if memory serves me, and I don't want to keep running on you guys, said they made a report. They didn't make no damn report. Nobody wanted them to make a report. They couldn't even get them to answer questions about even who they were, much less get a report. And they just tell him that, oh no, he's not here anymore. They're gone. They've already been here. Everything's fine. They went in, made sure she was all right, made sure she didn't say no secretly. No, it's still going on. This guy's got her Josh Drew has her taped in the bathroom or some shit. Nope. That's what they're there to do. They said it was a repeated call. He still went in and looked at her. He still went in to make sure she wasn't, they have a couch sitting on top of her. Okay.
Injuries?
No.
What perception did you have about the level of cooperation of these 4 individuals with your answering this call?
Pretty low level of cooperation.
Okay. Now can we bring up exhibit number 5? It's the other video. I just want to run through both of them because there's a little bit of a different angle in the two.
Oh, let's waste everybody's time some more. Johnny, get your pen out, start drawing. Now he's gonna pray. You need to pray. You need to pray that you never do this shit again. I mean, he's a musician, okay? Just deal with some groupies, all right? Get him to sign an NDA. Strap up with 4, things of protection, if you know what I'm saying. Put a glove on the hand. Whatever. Oh my God. It's so bad. So bad. Here we go. No, I don't think I need to. We're going to fast forward to it. We're not wasting time. Okay. See if the angle of
Did you come out here earlier?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the other angle.
Yeah, we got another call. I don't know if it's related to the same
I'm
call.
over the way over to the right. Cut off.
Call again? We just need to check. When you guys know someone in New York or something? Yeah, she probably called twice. Okay. Yeah. You just talk to your wife and make sure it's not violent. Okay. Different conversation. Okay, yeah. Well, whoever it is, step out. You gotta check on it. I'll go get the business card from the cops. Yeah, I don't know. Just because we got another call and we can't again, we still gotta make sure. Back up. Please, back up. So we just...
He tried to shut the door. He's like, God, get me out of here. Can I go with you? I'm going to be at him. He's like, please take me. Please, please. They're blaming fucking me. Dog's like, I want to ride in the back hot car. Eh. I'll blow it up for you. Horrible. Look at this.
Okay. Who's Amber? You? Okay. And Johnny?
Is definitely not here.
He's not here? Okay.
Probably like 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Everything's all good then? Alright. Well, if you guys need anything else, just call us back. Have a good night.
They're like, where the hell are we? If you saw the doors, right? Imagine here this first time, because remember, this is a penthouse, so you can't just get up there. You have to have the big key fobbed in or whatever. Imagine if it just imagine walking down that hallway, seeing how generic it is. It literally looks like literally like you're in a jailhouse or some shit with the carpet and the doors. And then you open the door up and you're like, oh shit, this is what's behind the door. Oh my God. Okay, so we got to see this shit.
Does this appear to be the video cam from your video?
I'm not doing this shit again.
Whoever it is, step out. You guys check on it.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah.
See how many times they're gonna play this shit over and over and over and over and over and over. It's nauseating. Okay, I fast forward this dude's testimony. He worked at the building, okay, at the East building where all the penthouses where some of the shit went down, like what we're watching today, the testimony, the cops showing up there, whatever. Okay, this is hilarious. All right, so he had just talked about how her lawyer's doing the typical thing where did you see any injuries? He's like, no, I was standing right in front of her. I looked right in her eyes. I didn't see anything. Well, could you tell if she had makeup on? She was trying to cover it up. Could you tell? Like, what kind of question is that? But he says, well, maybe like you saying she's trying to cover everything. He said, but swelling, you can't cover up, like basically cover up swelling. I'd have noticed swelling. And then they try to shut him up real quick after that. Well, you don't, like she did the other witness. You don't know her characteristics of swelling. Like, what the hell? I mean, maybe in LA because everybody's getting so much shit injected in their face. They literally look like, I don't know, creatures from another galaxy, much less another planet. But whatever. It is what it is. But I'm going to play this part of it because this was flipping funny. Okay, so he's talking about how he's gone upstairs. And he's up there at the penthouse area, and he's run into Amber and Raquel. Okay, and he there, she's badgering him to death about, did you see her? How far away were you? Did we talk? Did you wipe her ass? What kind of blood type does she have? Do you remember what kind of jewelry she had on? Do you remember the color of her nail polish? That kind of shit. Well, in the midst of him answering these ridiculous questions over and over and over, he gets to this part where he's like, you know what? Well, because she asked, well, when did you see her? Like, what time? He's like, I remember, exactly kind of what happened. I'm going to let you listen to this story he goes off about. I mean, it's hilarious. And it even, I think, would shine some light on how even people there that worked that building knew how kind of ridiculous she was.
Right? But do you remember even looking?
I remember. I'm really sorry, but I remember. I gotta tell the whole story how they got there. Before they went and get the keys. They come down. They say somebody tried to get into my unit. There's scratches on my door. And like,
he's got a very thick accent, so he's like, he says
I'm really sorry, but
basically told him that they think that somebody tried to break into the unit. Remember, in order to get up here to this very top floor of this building, you have to have special privilege on this elevator to get up there. Like, you literally have to be key fobbed in. If you're don't have the fob, then you literally have to be escorted. Like, management has to go to the elevator themselves and give you access to get to this floor. Okay, this is not open to the public. All right. So he says he runs into him, and they're like, we think somebody's trying to break in.
Get into my unit. There's scratches on my door. I'm really sorry, but who will think is gonna get into your unit because they saw some scratches on the door, 4 inches above the door? Because the dog was scratching the door, was trying to get in, and they thought about someone trying to break into their unit. I said, in my head, I was like, you think someone's trying to?
So what he's saying there, he said that the door, he's saying that the scratches were 4 inches off the floor. So there were scratches on the door about 4 inches from the bottom, right? The part that's at the floor, 4 inches up, there were scratches.
Get into your unit, there's scratches 4 inches above the floor on your door. Right there, that was the dog.
4 inches above on the door, above the floor. He's like, that was the dog.
Trying to get 4 inches above
Actually, there is a case where the dog is at fault. It's just not the one that Amber Heard or her team want it to be.
The floor, your unit, there's scratches 4 inches above the floor on your door. That was the dog trying to get into the unit. They were so afraid. Oh, somebody's trying to get into my unit. They're like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room to make
sure. Remember, they're laughing at her because she's the one that was standing there telling that somebody was trying to break in, because there were scratches 4 inches off. It is like they're trying to build a story like that, like you would want witnesses, but like, oh, remember, did Amber Heard tell you she thought somebody should? And they think, I guess they think everybody's a damn moron.
There. So I did that. It's part of my job. Make sure they're safe. But I really, I didn't understand why they want me to do that. Like, oh, I don't know. I just so stressed out because of this. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm tired. I don't want.
And guess what? He sounds just like the guy from New York that was just, basically the artist that Johnny had put up so he could do his artwork. And this guy's like, I'm just tired. I don't want to deal with this crap anymore. And look, when this video was captured was January of last year, over a year ago.
I deal with this court case. Everybody got problems, and I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want to put this with any more words.
So how many does that? Listen, he was hilarious. But there is one other person. Okay, now this is Mr. Carino. I hope I say that right. He did a deposition video. You're going to see another video, but he's like a PR guy, that first I believe worked for Amber, and then went on to work for Johnny. And then Johnny left the firm. He followed another guy that made his own firm, PR firm, and so he left with him. But so basically, this guy knew both Amber and Johnny Depp really well, and was Amber's friend again, like first, and then was introduced to Johnny, became Johnny's friend. Okay, so it's kind of funny, and some people have asked that Johnny Depp was turned over all of his texts and emails, and was some kind of whatever happened, some glitch, they say, and somehow every one of Johnny Depp's text message from everybody he freaking knew got turned over to her team. So they have like tens of thousands of probably texts from him. We're talking over years. And the judge had to basically almost hold Amber Heard in contempt because she would never release hers. Like, she didn't want to, no, they wanted everything from him. Yet again, we had a situation where she wouldn't even damn give hers. But I fast forwarded through their part because, listen, I made y'all suffer enough with my ramblings and their side. But so I'm going to do it where Johnny's team starts to question him, and we'll finally get to see some old turd herds and text messages she's not very happy about, and some shocking kind of stuff comes up in this about old Elon. She never really loved Elon, and the messages back and forth, blah, 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 blah. And while we do this, it is freaking almost 11 o'clock here at night. I'm finally going to eat my dinner. Stuffed green peppers, by the way. I recommend you making it with some pork sausage. Shit's delicious in there. And some couscous. Just saying. But I'm going to eat this while we kind of listen to some of this play, because I missed a lot of this today while I was at the dentist, but I caught enough of it to be like, oh, that was interesting to know that we're going to learn some stuff that we didn't I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. We'll now play volume 2 of Mr. Carino's deposition, which is the questioning from counsel for Mr. Depp.
Okay, thank you.
You're aware that this litigation involves a dispute between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, correct?
Correct.
And you know both of those individuals, correct?
Correct.
Who did you meet first?
See.
Amber.
History.
When did you meet her?
I don't know exactly when, but probably within the first few years of being at CAA.
Okay. So can we, as an estimate, say 2005, 2006 time frame?
Sure. I don't actually know, but sure.
But it was pretty early on at your career at CAA?
Correct.
And describe for me the events of your meeting her.
Now, this is pretty interesting because she was introduced to her by another agent, and then what he says about what kind of work she wanted to do was in commercial, like basically commercials. Like she wanted to be like how Johnny has that du jour thing, where he does the perfume commercial, whatever, cologne commercial. And so, like, this is what she was shooting for. Get me in Pantene, okay?
She was represented theatrically at the time by an agent named Warren Zavala, who has since left CAA, and he brought her down to my office because he wanted me to represent her with him, specifically in the commercial space.
Commercial.
And what do you mean represent her in the commercial space?
Help identify business opportunities for her with brands.
Okay. So not as an actor?
Correct.
And did you take on that representation?
I did.
And at some point in time, you did consider her a friend, as in addition to you two working together. Is that right?
Yes.
And in that regard, did you and her do anything social?
Yes.
And can you describe for me generally what types of activities you two would do together as friends?
We would go to dinner, go to events together, hang out at each other's residences.
And
secretly was trying to meet Johnny Depp. I'm just kidding. I just had to.
And at some point in time, did you consider Mr. Depp a friend?
Yes.
And how did that relationship evolve? And I'm just talking about you and Mr. Depp becoming friends.
I spent a fair amount of time with both of them together, and at some point started to spend time with him on my own as well.
I see.
Got to put on the red light.
And at some point in time, did Mr. Depp become a good a friend to you as Ms. Heard? I'm sorry. Let me re-ask that also. Did you consider, at some point in time, did you consider Mr. Depp a friend to the same degree you considered Ms. Heard a friend?
Yes.
And at some point, let me ask you, at some point in time, did you represent Mr. Depp professionally?
Yes.
And can you explain to me how it came to you representing Mr. Depp professionally?
Johnny asked me to represent him.
And when you began representing Mr. Depp, did you continue representing Ms. Heard?
Yes.
And do you recall who Mr. Depp's agent was prior to you?
He was represented at another talent agency, UTA.
Do you still work for Mr. Depp?
I do not.
Do you recall when you stopped working for Mr. Depp?
Mm-hmm.
Within the past 2 years.
2 years, that'd be 2020. Well,
and can you describe the circumstances of you no longer working for Mr. Depp?
So remember, 2 years would be 2020. So 2016 is when she did the whole TRO and then first accused him. Then 2018 is when she did the whole op-ed thing. So he still stayed his friend with him. What, about a little over a year, close to a year and a half after that whole thing with her and the Washington Post.
Left CAA to follow an agent who left CAA to become part of a founding group in a new management company.
And who is that person?
Jack Wiggum.
Was Mr. Wiggum ever affiliated with CAA?
Yes.
Okay. And say that when Jack Wiggum departed CAA, Johnny went with him?
Yes.
Okay. And when Mr. Depp left CAA, did you remain friends with him?
No.
Now think about how you must feel how superficial your friendships are. Is that as soon as you leave a PR firm, this person that called you a friend stops being your friend. I don't know what kind of friendship I would call that. You know, we can't quit working together, so sayonara. Oh shit, did I hit something wrong? No, we got it. I hit, must have hit the wrong. Sorry
I
about
should
that.
probably first ask, at some point in time, did your friendship with Mr. Depp end?
Yes.
And when was that?
I would say at the time he left CAA.
And did him leaving CAA have something to do with the end of the friendship?
I don't know.
Are you still friends with Miss Heard?
No.
And when did that friendship end?
Probably when the legal disputes started.
Huh, isn't that curious?
And what legal dispute are you referring to? This one?
I'm not sure which one was first, but one of the disputes between Johnny and Amber.
Okay. But your friendship with, you're not referring to their divorce, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you remain friends with both of them through their divorce. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Although you're no longer friends
About
with
that.
Mr. Depp, do you have any animosity towards him?
I do not.
And same question with respect to Miss Heard. Although you're not friends with her any longer, do you have any animosity towards her?
I do not.
Do you recall when it is the last time you spoke with Miss Heard?
I do not.
Would it have been around the same time that your friendship ended with her?
I would assume so.
Exhibit 16.
No, Mr. Carino, you'll see at the bottom here, and I don't know if you can see it. If you see at the bottom, it has a bait stamp number under the yellow tag, CC00070.
Yes.
Do you recognize this document? And take your time if you need to review it.
Well, that's nice because their side don't let you. If you'll remember, the cat lady got so mad at the therapist. Like she's like, "Can you read that?" And then literally, like less than 2 seconds, like, "Listen, well, since you can't read it, let me read it." Like it was tacky. Should fast forward to this.
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand this to be a true and authentic copy of email exchange in which you were involved?
There we go.
I believe so.
Okay. Okay. And you'll see it's dated January 11th, 2018, and the subject is WME. Do you know what is your understanding of what WME is?
William Morris Endeavor.
Understanding of what the subject is WME. You'll see it's dated January 11th, 2018, and the
January 11th, 2018. So this is what, year and a half after their divorce. The same year she does the op-ed, but this is at the beginning of the year, and she does it towards the end of the year.
Subject is WME. Do you know what is your understanding of what WME is?
William Morris Endeavor.
And what is that?
It's another talent agency.
Okay. And you've read this email from Ms. Hurd to you, correct?
Correct.
So at this point in time, was she a close friend of yours?
Yes.
And ultimately, did she leave CAA?
Yes.
And it was at this time?
Yes.
During the entire time you represented Ms. Hurd, did Mr. Depp ever interfere with your representation of Ms. Hurd?
No.
This goes to him trying to tell her that, I mean, her side trying to say that he tried to keep her from her friends. He was controlling, wouldn't let her do anything. That's why they asked that question. Did he ever interfere with basically you getting her jobs?
Did he ever ask you to do anything with respect to her career?
Not that I can recall.
Exhibit 17.
Now, Mr. Carino, this particular document was not produced by you. You'll see that at the bottom here. The date stamp indicates ALH. That means it was produced by Ms. Hurd. And this appears to be a text exchange between you and her. It's about a page and a half. If you could take the time to read it, and then I will ask you questions about it.
I read it.
And you'll see at the top, Mr. Carino, that it's dated July 14th, 2016. Based on that date and based on reading this text exchange, at this point in time, were you close friends with both Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurd?
Yes.
And having read the text exchange, do you believe this to be a true and correct representation of the exchange?
Yes.
And to be authentic in that regard?
Yes.
Remember, she filed for the
Now,
restraining order. May.
You start the text exchange by indicating JD just surfaced. What is the JD reference?
Johnny Depp.
And she says, I saw Laurel yesterday. Who is Laurel?
Laurel's a therapist.
Do you know her full name?
Laurel Anderson.
Did you independently know Laurel?
Yes.
Did you have anything to do with Laurel seeing either Ms. Hurd or Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And can you explain that to me, please?
Interesting.
I introduced them all.
And what was the purpose of you introducing her to them?
They needed help.
And can you explain to me in more detail what you mean by that?
Johnny Depp needed an escape plan.
I think it was at a time where they needed somebody to help mediate the difficulties they were having.
And what do you mean by difficulties?
The strains on their relationship.
And in that regard, did you have conversations with Ms. Hurd about the state of her relationship with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
I'm trying to determine for how long a period of time did Ms. Hurd have conversations with you about the state of her relationship with Mr. Depp. Can you give me a time frame?
I would say she talked to me about the state of their relationship from the beginning until the end.
The entire time you knew her? I'm sorry, the entire time you considered her a friend?
Yes.
Okay. And how about Mr. Depp? Did you have conversations with him about the state of his relationship with Ms. Hurd?
Yes.
And were those ongoing during the entire time you were friends with him?
Yes.
You say they both confided in you in that regard?
Yes.
It's interesting.
So back to this text exchange.
Here goes the text.
Where my cursor is, Ms. Heard says to you, yeah, she said that Johnny and I need to talk directly. Do you know who do you know who Ms. Heard's referring to there?
Laurel.
That was your understanding after reading this?
Yes.
And then you ask her, do you want to do something tomorrow? She says, yeah. She says, IDP, I do. You say, ha, okay. And then you say, what is safe to do? Do you want to come to my place for dinner? What did you mean by what is safe to do?
It meant avoiding paparazzi.
Okay. And then she says, it's so fucked up. I just want to tell him that what they are telling him isn't true. What was your understanding of what she meant by that sentence?
I don't recall.
Mr. Greeno, while she's doing that.
What they are telling him. You mean, like she's the one that went filed. I mean, what she said in her papers, or I mean, to her messages to him, there were conversations about when she started doing this shit, accusing him of all this crap, showing up and filing a temporary restraining order on him to accuse him of throwing the phone, hit her, all this other shit. And, he was like, why would you do that to me? She's like, it wasn't me. It was my attorneys. My attorneys made me do it because it was a reaction to what you were doing. Remember, he hadn't filed yet. He hadn't done shit yet. It was reactionary thing to what they said you were going to do. And I needed to be proactive. I mean, just spit out some of them, you got somebody rapid firing shit at your face. I mean, it is literally like to see if any of it will stick. That's what it felt like.
At the outset of this deposition, I asked you if you recall being deposed about a year ago in this case, and you said yes. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to show you now, about a year ago in this case, I asked you at the outset of this deposition, I asked you if you recall being deposed about a year ago in this case, and you said yes. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to show you now is the transcript, a portion of the transcript from that deposition. And who is Mr. Bruckheimer?
Jerry Bruckheimer is the producer of the Pirates franchise.
And who is Mr. Wiggum?
Jack Wiggum was an agent at CA who worked with Johnny.
Okay. And who is Mr. Lord?
Look at his face. All of a sudden, he went down to looking down at what's going on?
Brian is one of the managing partners of CAA and also worked on Johnny Depp.
And what was your understanding of why the Pirate 6 job was not offered to Mr. Depp?
Leo, you're asking my opinion?
Yes.
Because of the accusations that Amber had made.
And what I'm about to show you, Mr. Carino, is an article in the Washington Post authored by Ms. Heard. You're going to notice that the article will be presented sideways. So you'll have to tilt your head a bit to review it.
Exhibit 19.
Do you, first, Mr. Carino, why don't you take control and just scroll through the document? It's just a couple pages.
Yeah. Now remember, in the trial, her side keeps trying to show him and the tried to show Johnny the article that was written in the paper. They had completely changed the title of it. Like some, I can't remember what it was, something about women's rights or something, women, I don't remember. But that's what they kept trying to show it and be like, is this what this entire lawsuit's about? He's like, this isn't the one I saw. This is the one that, this isn't the first one that came out. You're showing me a different version. Well, this is the different version. This is the version that was put online. And this is where she says she spoke up against this. And and there's the email exchange where even the Washington Post, the liaison, was removing shit out of the article that she'd written that was like literally saying like her ex-husband. And I mean, like if it wasn't for them, she would have put Johnny Depp's damn name in it, like directly. Oh, that's my hand. All right, hang on.
Yeah, when there's a jump like...
Is this the top of the next page?
Yeah, when there's a jump like that, it's just at the top of the next page.
Time to read. We're going to watch the whole thing. Can you edit this shit out?
Mr. Carino, have you seen this document before?
Yes.
Do you know who wrote this document?
Yes.
Who wrote this document?
Amber.
Amber Heard?
Yes.
And do you see there on this first page of the document, it actually indicates that it's written by Amber Heard on December 18th, 2018?
Yes.
And do you understand that this document was authored by Ms. Heard and published on December 18th, 2018?
Yes.
And do you recall reading it at the time it was published?
No.
Mr. Carino, I'm showing you an email exchange in which you were involved. It's just this one page. I'll blow it up so you can review it. Take a second to review it, please.
Let's give him time to look at it.
Okay.
And let's start at the bottom of this. Well, do you see at the top that the email Ray line is entitled Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow Won't Return in New Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
Yes.
And this email exchange was on December 20th, 2018, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall that the article you just read published by Ms. Heard was published on December 18th, 2018, 2 days before?
So this is 2 days. 2 days after she wrote it, then they get the email saying Jack Sparrow won't return.
Before this?
I mean, anybody that's trying to say that they didn't make a direct connection with him and then it didn't immediately impact his career, I don't know what, I don't know. You're living on the pearl.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you go to the bottom of this email, do you see there's this link to an article?
Yes.
And it says URL defense, I'm sorry, it says movieweb.com.
Yes.
Mr. Carino, what I put up next to the email exchange that we've been discussing is an article dated December 20th, 2018. Okay. So this article is dated December 20th, 2018. The email sent to you by Robin Baum is that same day, December 20th, 2018, correct?
Yes.
Who is Ms. Baum?
Johnny's publicist.
Okay. And she's sending this article to you, is that right?
Yes.
And then in response, you say, were we told this officially from Disney? And she responds, I'm sorry, Jack Wiggum responds, no. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Sure. So you testified just a few minutes ago that it was your opinion that Mr. Depp lost the Pirates 6 movie because of Miss Heard's allegations. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Allegations of abuse, correct?
Yes.
And is this a demonstration of when Disney made that decision to not hire Mr. Depp for Pirate 6?
Wow. I mean, this is like, wow. Oh, I know this is a super long video, and if you've stuck around this long, you are a trooper. Okay, you are. And I do it like I apologize because I did not get to really hear this today. Again, like I said, had an appointment and I was trying to listen to it while I was there. There was just no way. So like this is the first time I'm really like listening to this. And if you're wondering, defamation cases are almost impossible to win. I mean, they are difficult. But if you're trying to build a case, this is how you do it. Like, wow, 2 days.
Yes.
722.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp physically abuse Miss Heard?
No.
Did Miss Heard ever tell you that she had been physically abused by Mr. Depp?
No.
Did Mr. Depp ever tell you that he had physically abused Miss Heard?
No.
Did you ever witness any injuries on Miss Heard that would indicate that she was physically abused?
No.
Now, again, this is a few months
I
after
remember this is her PR freaking person.
the filing of the divorce papers and the TRO, and Miss Heard states to you, "I'll call you right back. Sorry." And you say, "Okay." She says, "Is it too late to call?" And you say, "Just finishing dinner. We'll call you as soon as we walk out within 20. And she says, "Please tell him I love him." Is that an accurate reading of the text exchange so far?
Yes.
Wow. Remember, she's gone and got this thing. There's a whole thing about basically like an extortion letter for attorneys. I mean, it was a threatening letter. I can't even. Hang on a second. This is the letter her legal team sent Johnny Depp. Basically, like this is before this is when they knew they were filing for divorce. Right? He said he was, that was it after the poop on the bed and all that shit happened. And then before she ever accused him of like putting his hands on her and getting a restraining order, they sent him this letter. And you decide what you think this says. Mr. Bloom is representing him. Please be advised that our firm has filed a petition for dissolution of marriage on behalf of Amber Heard. As you may be aware, your client and Amber Heard's husband, Johnny Depp, violently attacked and threatened Amber on Saturday night, May 21st, in their penthouse apartment located blah, blah, blah. There are several witnesses to this particular incident. There were no witnesses to it, by the way. And there are photographs depicting the property damage Johnny caused that none of the 4 officers saw. I'm going to add in my ad libs here because this is full of shit. Remember, this is what she has said to them. And this is what she said to Johnny. There's evidence, lots of evidence. Okay, so as well as the physical injuries he inflicted on Amber. Unfortunately, this is not the first incident of the DV perpetrated by Johnny against Amber. In fact, there have been 2 other incidents in the past 6 months. Although Amber is afraid of Johnny, she strongly insists that we do everything possible to keep this personal matter out of the media spotlight, which is why she has not yet sought Klitz OVTRO and why we did not arrange for Johnny to have been personally served at last night's movie premiere. Listen to how that's put. That's why we decided not. That's a threat that she didn't go get a restraining order and we didn't serve him at the movie premiere. Like, that's a threat. Why would you put that in there at the movie? Like they could. Amber wishes to work quickly towards a private and amicable resolution of all matters, but she will need Johnny's immediate cooperation to do so. It's a threat. You either hurry up and do what I say, or we're going to serve you a restraining order at your movie premiere. To this end, please have Johnny promptly sign and return by Friday, May 27, 2016, the enclosed notice and acknowledgement of receipt form confirming service of the summons, petition, family law case cover sheet, and blank response. If the requested notice is not signed and the original executed form is not returned to me by May 27th, we will have no alternative but to arrange for Johnny to be personally served. In addition, we were requesting on Amber's behalf the following. Look, all this shit said. We TRO, give it to you at the movie premiere. If you don't respond immediately, this is what we're going to do. She wants one, appropriate pedente, whatever, light support. Support. She wants money. Exclusive use and possession of the black Range Rover, the vehicle she is currently driving, with Johnny to continue to make all payments for and encumbrances therein. Exclusive use and possession of 849 S Broadway penthouse numbers 1, 3, and 5. There's 5 of them. She wants 3 of them. With Johnny to continue to pay mortgage, utilities, etc., associated therein, and a contribution towards her reasonable and necessary attorney's fees in the amount of $100,000 and $25,000 for forensic accounting costs to be paid to any firm by the close of business 5 p.m. May 27, 2016. Further, I believe it would be beneficial for all of this case was assigned to a private retired judicial officer for all purposes. My proposed list of private retired judicial officers is as follows, and gives them names. The fees of the judicial officer can be paid with funds from the party's community estate. Kindly let me know at your earliest convenience if you and your client are agreeable to doing so, as well as which judicial officers are accepted. Upon hearing from you, I will have my assistant obtain rates and availabilities. We are indeed hopeful that we can swiftly work out mutually acceptable short and long-term solutions outside the public eye. Thank you. I look forward to your prompt follow-up. Are you listening? What do you take that as? What would you take that as? You got this long to answer. If you don't, this is all the shit we could have done and we're going to do. And then this is what we want. It's a fucking extortion letter. That's what it is. And that's not even the she asked for, I think it was $50,000 a month too, in like spousal support.
Do you know if at this time, based on your relationship with Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp, whether Ms. Heard wanted to reconcile with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
It's your understanding that she did?
Yes.
Wanted to reconcile.
Did Ms. Heard, based on your personal friendship with Ms. Heard, close personal friendship with Ms. Heard, would you say that she confided in you?
Yes.
And what about Mr. Depp?
Yes.
Mr. Carino, at some point in time, after Ms. Heard filed those divorce papers in May of 2016, did she make any requests of you to intervene in the relationship between her and Mr. Depp?
What do you mean by intervene?
Assist in, let's start with assist in communications between the two.
Yes. Same objections.
Can you explain to me what transpired in that regard?
Don't think they're not objecting all the time, because remember, he's a monster that is, just like, Saw movie 3 on her, this poor kitten in the corner. She is fearful of her life. Look at her over there, like she's shivered like a lost puppy over in the corner right now. And yet this dude is like, look at him. He does not want to say this because he knows that, like what this says. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she wanted to reconcile with the monster. You know what I mean? Like, that's the. What you see?
Yes, same objections.
Can you explain to me what transpired in that regard? Walk me through it.
At some point around that time, she wanted me to arrange for them to get together in person.
And what did you do after that was requested of you by Ms. Heard?
I talked to Johnny about it.
What happened after that?
He was reluctant at first and then agreed.
And then what happened after that?
I mean, this is a long time ago, but I remember there was a fair amount of discussion about the TRO
Yeah.
and how we would deal with that because nobody wanted Johnny accused of violating the TRO.
Well, no shit. Look at what he's figured out. Probably basically at this point, that this person that he thought loved him or whatever was like literally he was watching them go and drag his name through the mud, accuse him of doing all kinds of shit, accusing him of being this monster that put his hands all over her. Remember the broken glass and her naked and all this other stuff, all this crap. And then after she goes and gets the tiara, has all that shit thrown to the media. Then she uses this poor sap trying to arrange in a meeting because she wants to meet him. She wants to see him because, she's scared to death.
As an outcome of that meeting, and I don't remember exactly what we did, but Amber at some point warranted that she would never accuse him of violating the TRO to do the meeting. And I set the meeting up.
So just so I understand, you set the meeting up at the request of Ms. Hurt?
Objection.
Yes.
And as part of you setting up, she told you that it didn't matter. What I'm trying to understand, what was the issue with respect to the TRO?
My understanding of a restraining order, at least at the time, was that he couldn't go within a certain distance of her.
Okay. And what was her suggestion with respect to that issue in connection with her wanting to meet with him?
She promised me and told me to relay to him that she would never accuse him of violating the restraining order as a result of agreeing to meet her. And I believe, but I don't recall exactly, there were conversations with both sides legally, I believe at the time, to make it transparent to everybody that this was happening.
Okay. And then what happened next?
I arranged the meeting.
Wow.
Johnny was in San Francisco on tour, and I arranged to borrow a friend's house, and Amber and I flew to San Francisco and drove to the house. And
Again, imagine that. Imagine me calling a monster and having all this shit happen, and then she still wants to hook up with me. I could say a lot of things right now about old Franco and old Muskie man. He goes on too to talk about how she truly felt about old Elon Musk. I wonder if he knows any of that shit, because you're about to hear it. Because that's one part I did see, the clip I did see, and I was like, holy shit.
Johnny showed up a few hours later.
And did the two of them meet
Yes.
in the same room?
They sat outside.
Okay. How close to each other were they?
Inches away from each other.
And how long were they out there talking? For how long were they out there talking?
Several hours.
Did you, although you were out there, were you in a position where you could see them through a window or otherwise?
Yes.
At some point in time, the conversation ended, correct?
Yeah, could you freaking imagine? Could you imagine? I'd be like, yeah, dude, you ain't leaving me the hell alone. I think it gets a little crazy. I try to find the audio where she tries to convince him to stay, get in bed, like lay down with her and shit like that. And he won't do it. He's like, I'm not doing it. Like, I mean, telling you some twisted shit.
Correct.
And what happened after that?
I received a call or a text from Steve, whose house it was, and he notified me that he would be coming back to the house within the next hour or so. And I told Johnny and Amber, and we decided to rent a hotel room in San Francisco so that they could.
Yep, that's where. Yep, and she tried to convince him to. I'm telling you, it's twisted. Because think about all the allegations now. Think about what's happening in this courtroom. Think about what her side's trying to portray him as, and all the shit he's done to her, and all this old poor hapless little victim and shit like that shit, and that she knew, and that she, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, it's.
We continued to talk.
And did that in fact happen?
Objection.
And at some point in time, you left that house, correct, to go to San Francisco?
Yes.
And was it the three of you?
No. Johnny had security with him, and we talked about the fact that it wouldn't be a good idea for them to be seen together. So Johnny left with his security in his car, and I believe Amber and I took an Uber.
And what happened after that?
We all met at the hotel room.
And do you know what happened after that?
They started arguing.
And do you recall any details of the argument?
No.
And for how long was this argument had in a hotel room?
Yes.
Did you witness the entire discussion, or did you leave at some point?
I left the next morning at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning.
And Mr. Carino, I'm showing you emails that were produced by...
And remember, he's in a hotel room. If they're in a hotel room and he's in the hotel room, imagine how many hotel rooms you got to be in to where you can't hear what's happening if they're having an argument. We know how she argues. You know how loud her voice gets.
You first, the bottom of the first page, it starts at the bottom of the first page. The string above it was redacted. And you'll see that it starts on August 7th, 2017. Do you see that?
Mm.
August 7th, 2017, yes.
Having read it, can you determine who you're speaking with in this text exchange?
Amber.
Oh, hang on. Let me ask you this. Do you know whether or not Ms. Heard ever had a relationship with Mr. Elon Musk?
Oh,
Yes.
see, there we go.
She did?
Yes.
So again, it's dated August of 2017. And she says, dealing with breakup, I hate when things go public. See, I'm so sad.
I hate when things go public, but this bitch wrote an op-ed. Yeah.
Having reviewed the document again, do you have an understanding of what she's referencing there?
I believe she's referring to breaking up with Elon.
You say, seems like a press release. You weren't in love with him, and you told me 1,000 times you were just filling space. What are you saying there?
I'm saying, why would you be sad if you weren't in love with him to begin with?
And by him, you're referring to who?
Elon.
Listen what this just said there. You told me he was just filling up space. Huh. Well, I mean, he does SpaceX, but I don't think that's what he thought he was. I guarantee you, I'm almost willing to bet he didn't think that shit.
And at this point in time, were you still close friends with Miss Heard?
Looks like that's the case at that time, yes.
And did she still, at this point in time, did she confide in you about her relationship?
Well,
yes.
That's kind of obvious.
And you respond, I'm sorry, she responds, I know, but I wanted time to grieve and recover in my own time. Is she still referring to Mr. Musk?
Grieve and recover in her own time. But I think he's about to say no, she's referring to Johnny And so you grieve and recover by using another man that says they're building feelings for you, but you don't feel nothing for them. And so that's how she's filling up space and grieving her breakup with his ass. Okay.
You know,
Got it.
your understanding.
I don't know whether she's referring to Johnny or to Elon in that line.
Okay. In this point in time, do you know what her feelings were? What was your understanding? At this point in time, what was your understanding based on your experience with her? What was your understanding of her relationship with Mr. Depp?
I don't believe there was a relationship at that point.
And you say, and you got that. No, she says, I hate that yet again a man lets me fall on the spikes by myself. You ask, how so? She says, oops. Meaning they are mad at me for leaving them and put things like this out there. You say, sorry.
You're feeling what she said there, leave me on the spikes to deal with it. Again, the contour, the yoga, downward facing dog, bendy shit you got to be able to meld your mind to be like, oh, they left me at the spikes to deal with this publicly. She's the one that pranced in to the police station. Who called all those paparazzi to tell him she was going to be there? Who is the one that went to the police station to begin with and decided to do shit that way? And now that we know everything that's coming out, that she's admitted she's put her hands on him. Who wrote the fucking op-ed? But yet she's accused. Now she's mad because what? She's trying to say Johnny Depp made this shit public. Let's go back a little bit and realize this is the first time he's ever spoke out about this shit publicly in 6 years. And yet she's mad because he's put her on the spikes. And she's the only one she's went and had big ass speaks at Me Too movements and shit like that. Talking about this shit, wrote newspaper articles about this shit. And the paparazzi photographer everywhere. I'm like, come on now. I'm telling you, we're living in woo-woo land.
She says like that. You say, you could avoid all this if you stop dating uber famous people. You can be with a big man who isn't famous. What were you relating to her there?
I believe what I was saying was, if you don't like being in the press about your personal life, then don't date people that are famous.
Sure. You indicated that she moved on immediately after Johnny Depp to date Elon Musk. Is that accurate? You indicated that she moved on immediately after Johnny Depp to date Elon Musk. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Do you have an understanding one way or another?
Remember, she was so in love with Johnny, apparently, but man, she was literally eating Elon's Tesla, faster than a burrito addicted truck driver, farts his lunch away. Oh, that was not funny. Look at how much I struggled to crack a joke. Sorry about
whether Ms. Heard and Mr. Musk were in fact dating at the time of the San Francisco reconciliation that she asked you to set up.
I don't know whether they were dating, but they had definitely spent time together.
Do you know how long after the San Francisco attempted reconciliation you gained the understanding that Elon Musk and Ms. Heard were in fact dating?
I don't know exactly how long, but not long after.
Do you know who or what was your understanding of who she was referring
to? What they just said there basically is when she asked him to set up a meeting between herself and Johnny Depp, she was dating Elon.
To when she was said, here, I love him.
Johnny.
Based on this exchange, did you have an understanding at this time whether Ms. Heard wanted to reconcile with Mr. Depp?
I believe she did.
And at this point in time, she was still a close personal friend of yours, correct?
Yes.
And at this point in time, was she? Did she consider you a confidant? In your understanding?
I think yes.
Okay, just to authenticate this document again, Mr. Carino, do you see that it's referenced at the bottom, date stamped CC, indicating that you produced this document?
Yes.
And having read this, do you perceive this as a true and fair
How do you
copy?
like your text messages and shit drug all out here for the world to see? You was all sitting all giggly until you thought the cameras were on you. When his text messages were being drugged everywhere by the cocaine and the pills and shit. Now yours is out here. We ain't even made it. We got one deposition with your emails have been drug out. You over there like, oh my God, can I believe it?
Copy of a text exchange between you and Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Okay. And I will, and you see at the very top here, it's dated August 16th, 2017.
Yes.
And Ms. Heard states to you, I've written so many notes. Can you give him one? I don't know how or where to start. There's no way to begin. And all I have to say, but I have so many. Finally, I am.
It goes with those Post-it notes. You know, sidebars. I said before, backseat driver. Nope, she's side seat attorney.
Single, clear in my heart and mind. I just want him to know I loved him and that I am sorry. Do you have an understanding of who Ms. Heard is referring to here?
Yes.
And who is Ms. Heard referring to in this text?
Johnny.
And what is she asking you to do here?
She was asking me to deliver a letter that she was writing to him.
And did she also want you to, and it says, and that I am sorry. What was your understanding of what she was asking you to do there, if anything?
I believe that was all in reference to getting him a handwritten letter that she was writing or trying to write.
Was it your understanding at the time of this text exchange, August 24, 2017, that Ms. Amber was attempting to reconcile with Mr. Depp?
I believe so.
Now remember, this is August.
Okay. Attempting to text exchange, August 24, 2017, that Ms. Amber
August 24, 2017.
was attempting to reconcile with Mr. Depp.
I believe so.
Okay.
Our attorneys are like, oh. Okay.
And I know this may sound repetitive, but on August 20, at the time of this text, on August 24th, 2017, you and her were still close personal friends, correct?
I believe so.
There's not much here at all, Mr. Carino, but I did want to confirm that this was a document produced by you, correct, based on the date stamp on the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, they had to look because she didn't want to turn over anything of hers. They got that from him. Just so we're clear. That's what look at her face. That's a perfect little glimpse right there of her face, first old lips. They got these comms, didn't they? She didn't want to turn over shit, but she's innocent, by the way. You know,
and
somebody that's trying to hide all the information. You know, they're usually the innocent one. If you didn't know.
Dated September 27th, 2017.
September 23rd.
Oh, you're right. My apologies. It's dated September 23rd, 2017. And it's a text to you that says, God, I miss him. Do you have an understanding of who Ms. Heard is referring to there?
Yes.
And who's that?
Johnny.
And do you see at the bottom, the date of the text is June 9th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
June of 2018. She wrote that op-ed in December of that same year. She is now in court having her attorneys trying to make him out to be this drug-fueled crazy monster of a person, and yet she is texting this guy 2 years after that she walked in there and got a damn restraining order on him. 2 years after she's accused him of being this monster, and telling him that, man, she misses him, and that trying to get this dude to send this guy letters, the back channels to get him notes and letters and all this other shit. But she is in fear for her life. She barely made it out alive.
And it says, I text him happy birthday. Do you know who sent that and who the him is?
I assume this is from Amber, and she's talking about Johnny.
You've had a chance to review the whole document. Perino, what does this appear to be?
It appears to be the communications around the time that we set up the meeting in San Francisco.
And who are these communications between?
Me and Johnny.
Okay. And this first bubble, can you tell if the blue is you or Mr. Depp?
I think the blue is me.
Sure. Earlier in your deposition, at the very outset, I was asking you about your representation of individuals at CAA. You indicated that you represent individuals that are both actors and musicians. Would you consider Mr. Depp in that pool?
Yes.
And you represented, or CAA represented him both in connection with his acting endeavors and his involvement with the vampires?
Yes.
And was Mr. Depp's participation in Hollywood Vampires lucrative?
No.
Because it was a passion. He wasn't doing it for the money.
Do you know whether or not it was something Mr. Depp enjoyed?
Yes.
See right there what they're doing? What they're just sitting there is that this man played in that band for sheer love of music. Why would he ever lop off something so crucial and necessary for him continuing to do that? Of all things, for him to attack on his own body, he would go after the one thing he needed the most, and that he found, that he set himself out peace. And he's been playing guitar since he was a teenager, and he went through all that stuff with his mother. And yet, that's what they're saying here.
Plaintiff calls Laura Wasser by deposition, Your Honor. WASSER.
Thank you. I was his divorce attorney. I'm going to end it here, guys. We've been going forever. Again, if you stuck with me this far, you are a freaking trooper. I'm so sorry. I wasn't as prepared as I typically am. I'll do better after. I don't have a dentist appointment for a while. So thanks for hanging out with me and doing this with me. Let me know down below if there's certain things you do want me to cover or talk about or refresh you on, if I know something. And if I don't know it, you know what? I think I'm pretty decent at finding it out for you. I hope I am anyway. And with that, guys, I'm going to go to flipping bed. It is 11:56 at night here. Thanks for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to get to at least 1,000 subs. I would appreciate it. And if not, thanks for coming by anyway. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to give me some rest. All right, have a good one.